All right, this is an audio check. Audio check 1, 2.
Sean,
You
five
guys
people's
talk.
watching.
Somebody talk.
Okay, how do we sound?
I don't know. I have to actually check on my other computer.
Do you hear the lag too, or how do we sound? Hear the lag too, or... Oh, it's because you have no. Oh, okay. Someone's listening to this without headphones on.
Was I creating that echo?
It's muted. I thought you were. Nope, you've got your headphones on.
You guys hear me?
Am I audible now?
Oh. Now you can hear me.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone's creating an echo.
Seriously?
Okay, who's got the stream pulled up?
Hold
Okay,
on.
let's just each mute the stream. Okay, stream's muted on my end. Okay, it's definitely not me.
Okay.
Oh, let me
I'll
just
hear it.
close these out. Pop out chat.
CJ.
Close that out. Close that
CJ.
out.
Yeah, I can hear you, Mike.
Good. I'm about turning the sensitivity down, but I'm not sure which way to go with it.
Okay, let me check.
Minus 100 decibels is good, right?
Where the fuck's that echo coming from?
How do I sound from over here?
Go audibly hear John.
I'm gonna play the stream.
Okay, well, I've got the stream muted. Mike's got it off. It's
I
got to be
just
coming
turned
from
it
John,
on
man.
for a
This
second,
echo.
but then I unmuted it. Mine's off again, so if it's still
I don't hear an
know
echo
what
in
it
it.
is.
It's just that I had both streams open. It sounded like it was.
Okay, well, John, mute both streams on your end.
Alright, I think it was.
Okay. Jack says our audio sounds good. Like, I can still hear myself talk like 20 seconds after I'm talking, so... Check 1, check 2, check 3, check 4.
Check 5, check 6, check 7,
Okay.
check 8.
Alright.
That is seriously so irritating.
What, are you hearing
I'm
like.
still getting an echo from someone.
Are you sure it's not just you hearing the Discord call and then hearing the stream? Like, mute Discord and then try.
Okay, both streams are muted. On my end.
No, don't mute.
And I don't seem to hear anyone else. I'm just trying to make sure it's, it might be me just hearing like both streams echo because I had YouTube pulled up, so I'm not hearing any other echo now. So I think that's what was happening.
Yeah. No, that's what happened to me.
Okay, audio sounds good. I think we're ready to go. Unless, and now Mike's muted.
Mike, I think You have something muted.
Yeah, Mike's definitely muted. Mike, you're muted.
I think he has himself deafened, so he can't even hear us. Yeah, he's muted and deafened, so he can't hear a word we're saying.
What's up?
Oh, there you go.
You were muted and deafened.
Muted, yeah.
Okay, now we can hear you.
I was
Well, I
going
think
to test
we're ready
on
to
Mike.
actually start this thing.
Oh, okay, he was
you guys
testing.
are ready.
All right, I'm going to remute us, and then we will begin.
Okay, I'm going to tweet out the links.
All right, let me know when that's done.
Comic books, video games, television, and movies. In a world where the media was once dominated by superheroes and sci-fi, the year 2020 became the worst dumpster fire of the millennium. And now these barely Irish assholes will band together to make sense of it all. It's not news. It's...
And I believe we are on. Welcome to Utterly Nonsense Live. And if you're listening to this after the fact, you may be confused as to why I'm saying that. It is because we are actually live streaming this episode right now on YouTube and Twitch, and we have cameras. Yes, we are back on camera for the first time in I don't know how long.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
So I will say,
Good
if
to be
you
back.
are not watching this live, if you're not on Twitch or YouTube, follow us on both of those platforms. You can find all of our links on utterlynonsense.com. And if you are joining us live, thank you very much for watching.
Yes, thank you for showing up. Hopefully you saw one of our various posts or reposts over the past few days. I did mention, if you listened to the last episode, I mentioned at the end of it that we might be doing something different this month. Well, here it is. This is what I had in mind. And the last time we did a live stream was 3 years ago, and Mike was there. That was in studio.
Right. That was live at Bloomsburg University.
Yeah.
With very, very terrible audio.
Extremely bad. What was with that room anyway?
I have no idea. Like, okay, so before we actually get into the meat of this whole thing, it's worth mentioning that I actually worked in tech support at Bloomsburg University for 2.5 years. And one of the big, it wasn't just like AV, but it was mostly AV work. And literally most of my job was going into Studio A and trying to fix things for kids who basically fuck shit up, you know? And for whatever reason, like I probably knew that studio better than anyone except like Asa, you know, the big boss there. But for for the life of me, there was still shit I could never figure out there. It's just insane how outdated some of the stuff in that studio is.
Yeah.
Soundboard especially was, very underwhelming.
And those lapel mics always like had some issue, or we used the handheld ones, and then they would like keep running out of battery and all that.
Yeah. No, super impractical. And again, it's for learning, it's for video production predominantly, so there's a little bit of leeway there, but looking back, they definitely could have invested in better audio equipment.
Yeah. All right, so enough about our personal past. Let's talk about some stuff. This is basically going to be our, I guess, wrap-up of this big, long dump of a year that it's been. But there have been a few things going on recently that, they caught my attention. So, like, at first, we were just going to talk about all of the movies that were delayed or canceled, but now there's just been so many other things that seem, I don't know, comparatively bigger because it's semi-related to that. Because now you got all these movies going on HBO Max, you got all these series going on Disney Plus. What the hell's going on? What do we want to start with?
Well, look, so we had the huge Disney drop, right? There's a lot to tackle there, mostly Marvel and Star Wars stuff. So why don't we just dive in? I guess we can do Mandalorian stuff first, since that just ended this past week.
Let's.
So do you want to hold off?
Let's give that a little time first, because I do want to get into spoilers with the finale.
Yeah, that's probably gonna have to wait till the end.
Yeah. Plus, we want to get Jack in too for that.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Mike,
will
you watched it, right? I don't want to spoil it.
Yes, he did. He watched something for once. Isn't that amazing? Jack actually watched a thing that we are going to talk about.
John.
I was talking about Mike, but yeah, Jack did.
Oh, okay.
I
just assumed you meant
I know
Jack.
we have a few guys in our actual Discord lobby who are probably going to join in at some point, just for a few minutes as a guest spot. So Jack will probably be coming on towards the end of this thing, just for the sake of having someone on who's seen The Mandalorian and is into it, as in John and Mike are.
And because I wanted to have guest callers, just try something new.
Yeah. Well, it works in a live format, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's get on with it.
Do we want to go down the list of things? Because I had this whole Twitter thread open where there's like all this Star Wars crap and you got all this Marvel crap. So I guess we'll look at the Star Wars first, since that seemed more... Actually, before the Star Wars, there was some other things. Like there's a sports thing, something with Michael Keaton. Like I was saying before, this just seems like... Because it's literally called Investor Day. They're announcing all these big-named actors, all these... supposedly big series. It just seems like a thing for them to say, please buy our stock, please inflate our prices, we need the money.
Right. Well, I mean, ultimately, it's sort of a cash grab for Disney. It's sort of an excuse to get people investing into them. It's sort of an excuse to show that, despite the fact that the world is fucked right now, we're still alive and thriving. Come invest in us so we can continue to be alive and thriving. Yeah. And it's, a functional strategy. They're the biggest company in the world.
So the first one that caught my eye says FX on Hulu. I don't even... How do you have a cable channel on Hulu? It's Hulu.
Yeah, so basically, all of the stuff that you see on FX streams on Hulu. That's really all there is to it. They just have some sort of deal that means Hulu is like the streaming service for all FX series, and that includes Fargo, that includes Legion, that includes... Of course, which I actually binged like the second I got Hulu. And again, I've seen the series like 3 times before that. It's just that good. So go see it.
Did you fuck my mom, Santa Claus?
I was just thinking, I gotta rewatch that coming up. It's Christmas time. I gotta rewatch that. But right. yeah, it's great.
So the first thing that caught my eye was this thing keeps moving. Alien, the series based on Ridley Scott's Alien. How? Why? And why now? Why, after all this time, you were going to do an Alien, was it 5 sort of reboot thing with Neil Blomkamp? Then you said no, because Ridley Scott wants to do his Alien Covenant, and now it's just, it was a limbo because I guess it didn't do well enough and nobody cared enough. Just like with The Predator.
No, it's like, totally pointless.
I fully expect a Predator series to come out.
Like, look, so there's dedicated fans in all of these fandoms. People are going to watch these shows, but you have to wonder why now, right? Like, why invest any time and resources into, like, essentially it's a cash grab, right? Like, yeah.
Oh, so have you guys... So I might be the only child among us that goes into the Walmart toy aisles, but if you have also engaged in this activity, have you seen the xenomorphs that they have on the shelves?
I haven't been in the store.
What brand is it?
The pandemic started.
They're purple and orange. They're all like the ones from the video games, and it's weird that they're just alien play sets all over the place.
Oh god. Oh god, Disney, don't do it. Don't make aliens for kids.
They're trying to appeal to a new generation. Well, it's like the original Alien and Aliens. You got to wonder, would it scare the kids of today, right?
Totally. Why not? That thing is
spooky.
Look,
it's creepy, but there's so much more horror out there. There's so much more shit out there that's just so desensitizing. It doesn't really hold up to the same extent as like when we watched it as kids, you know?
Like, well, I don't know if I could take myself as an example, but even when I watch things like Alfred Hitchcock, like Psycho or The Birds, that scared the shit out of me when I was younger.
Well, see, I always thought it was pretty suspenseful. I always thought it was well told, but none of that stuff really freaked me out. And that's not because it was like bad visual effects or anything. It's just there's so much more scarier movies now, right? There's so many things that. What?
I said birds don't scare you.
No, birds don't scare me. No, I'm
fucks everywhere.
Birds do not scare me.
You know, I lived in the city at the time, so there was pigeons everywhere, and I had a pet parrot. So
okay. So you were actually freaked out by birds, or you just thought your parrot was going to kill you after that?
No, it was just a freaky situation because, like, I liked birds. That was the thing. And so it's like, imagine something that to you is nice and peaceful and calm. It's a bird. It's nice. And now it's trying to kill you. One moment, they're fine. The next, they're pecking your eyes out like that old man who was just sitting there with the gaping holes in his skull. That is nightmare material, right? But no, aliens for kids now. Through your skull. Yeah, put that on a pillow. I want to go to bed with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't think it would freak me out the same way. Like, if I grew up watching, horror movies, I just genuinely don't think that would scare me the same way it scared kids when it first came out.
Now, here's the funny thing about this little post here. It says, expect a scary thrill ride, such, not platitudes, I feel like those are very floaty, non-specific words. Expect a scary thrill ride set not too far in the future, here on Earth. Why?
What the fuck is Mike doing?
I don't know. Maybe he's going to get his alien toys.
He knows we can see him, right?
He's getting his alien toys.
Okay. By the time he gets back here, we're going to be done talking about this topic. So,
he's back.
Got
fast.
Something. What's he got?
He's got a lamp. I don't know what
it is. He doesn't have his headphones on, so I don't know.
Now he's just staring at us. For anyone who is listening and isn't seeing, he has his Baby Yoda Santa hat on. I don't want to call it Baby Yoda anymore, but
I think it's just a Yoda Santa hat, but you're assuming it's Baby Yoda because the Mandalorian is
my hat?
on right now.
Yeah,
it's Yoda or Baby Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah, told you.
Oh, okay. Well,
with my height, I'm Baby assuming. Yoda.
That's right. All right, so the next thing on the list. Now, I was talking with someone when I was watching Mandalorian. I was saying it kind of feels like they're setting up, going in the direction of establishing something kind of about the New Republic, because you see, the X-Wings roaming around, you see them patrolling outer regions more often. Mike is frozen, by the way, so I don't know if we're going to lose him.
Yeah,
so, as if that conversation was prophetic, we have Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah, which honestly, it sort of sounds like Power Rangers in space, right?
I guess.
It'd be nice to see what they do with that if Gina Carano was going to be in that kicking ass.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of like what they're leading you to believe since she's the sheriff now, right? But so that'd be cool. It doesn't necessarily. Okay, where the hell is Mike? I can't tell if he's here or not. But it's like I'm so distracted by his still image. It's
I don't know. Maybe his thing got unplugged.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
The perks of a live stream.
I'm excited for all the Star Wars series. I feel like it's a lot at once, but if they actually play it right, if they distribute them so that it's not too much at once, and actually let it sort of satisfy the fans without overwhelming the fans. That's what you want from these series. And ultimately, if you have a Disney Plus membership, now's a good time to have a Disney Plus membership.
Yeah, like I think you saw my reaction in the chat when I posted all that. It's not that I hate any of the ideas that they're going with. It's just that
I do.
Okay. Well, I will let you speak. We're fresh off of I guess he's former president at this point, former CEO of Disney, who wrote a book, and he said we went too fast, too hard with the Star Wars movies. It was too much, and we kind of, we burnt it out.
Yeah, that was literally like a week before the investors meeting.
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit more than that, but so the Mandalorian.
It was
of course,
like right before it. Right.
It felt like a breath of fresh air, right? Takes its time. It's something set apart from the main universe. Until recently, anyway.
Speaking of which, check out our last podcast. We did do a deep dive on that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we did talk about this too. Right? I was saying how keep it separate. Let it establish new things. Let it kind of expand your scope of the whole Star Wars world. But so I hope that's the direction they're going to go in with the new series. I just worry it's going to be too much too fast again, and they're just going to pump it out. Like, remember, Last Jedi came out in late December, and then right away at the end of April, I believe it was, you had Solo. It didn't even have time to get marketed.
Solo was early March, not early March, early May. So it was like a very short amount of time after Last Jedi, which it begs the question as to why they didn't do that in December, since Rogue One was the previous December. Like, it would make sense, do one a year, end of the year.
Yeah,
give fans enough time to breathe, give it enough time to stand on its own two legs. I still haven't seen Solo.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah.
What?
I know, it's right. Like, I have the Disney Plus membership. It's been on Netflix for forever. I've got no excuse not to watch it. But it's like it just has no appeal to it.
It's all right. I don't
it's better
dislike
than the
it.
3. It's like Rogue One. It stands alone. It's better than the other 3 that were released around the same time.
I won't argue with that. I don't know if I'd say it's better than the other. You could say that.
Is it not better than The Last Jedi?
In a vacuum, it's a decent movie. At worst, it's it's like a slight offense on why do a character we know and love with a new actor who clearly is nothing like him. But his acting was all right. It was competent.
Hey, Mike, while we have you, how would you rank the sequel trilogy if you really had to rank them best to worst?
Like, compared to what?
Just compared to each other. What's your favorite of the 3, least favorite of the 3?
Okay, so my favorite is The Force Awakens.
Okay.
And my least favorite is both the other ones.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I want to like them. I want to like them so badly. But every time I go in there, I'm like, this just isn't doing it for me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, although upon rewatching them, because I had rewatched 7 and 8 before going into 9 in the theater, which, by the way, as of yesterday, 1 year exactly since I saw Rise of Skywalker in the theater. And that would have been the last movie I saw in a theater if it wasn't for Sonic. And I did end up doing the Lowers review.
Was the last one I saw.
I did the Lowers review, Rise of Skywalker. Watch that if you haven't. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but I would probably rank it 9, 7, 8.
For me, it's 8, 7, 9. But whatever. It's like, I know we're not going to agree on this.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't fault you for putting any above the others. Like, you like Last Jedi, fine. I don't, but everything.
I mean, we all have valid criticisms.
I won't say why.
You want it? You want me to make a really bad opinion? Episode 5 isn't great.
It's the best Star Wars movie. Empire, of course.
Number 3 is the best movie.
You turned her against me.
I gotta disagree with you.
You've done that yourself. Don't make me kill you. We'll try.
I have the high ground now, Mike.
I have brought
Hello
peace,
there, General Kenobi.
justice, freedom, prosperity to my new empire. It's funny how movies like that and like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies have like retroactively become liked because of all the memes and everything that have come out of them.
Yeah.
To the point where,
mean like Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, it's like spilling over into the companies, and now they're bringing them back. They're like, "Oh, get Hayden Christensen and Obi-Wan back. Get Tobey Maguire back. Come back."
I think it's sort of entered like the prequel trilogy. I think it's sort of gotten to a point of nostalgia, right? Because at least when they came out, people hated the prequels, right? Aside from like Die Hard.
Not me. I was just a young boy. I saw Episode 1 in the theater when I was 4 years old. I remember I came out, they were selling toy lightsabers. They were so primitive. It was just a little flashlight with a white stick that was really, like, flimsy. I was there at the beginning. Well, the new beginning.
Right.
All downhill. Anyway, moving on the list, Ahsoka. Yeah, like I said before, when we were off camera, did somebody just look at Rosario Dawson on set in costume and just say, "Ooh, yes, right now, do that"? Why does she in her own series?
Well, the thing is, her appearance on The Mandalorian was very well regarded. People thought it was great. I thought it was great. I've never even seen Clone Wars. I was never big into Clone Wars, and I still thought Ahsoka was awesome. Yeah. So
none of us have seen Clone Wars. Wow,
that's weird. I feel like Mike would have seen it. Just being
I want to watch it.
I heard among us.
I
it's on Disney
want
Plus,
to watch
right?
It is, yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
How
long did it take me to watch The Mandalorian?
Yeah, not long. But yeah, it's like I know basically nothing about the character, right? Like I know she was Anakin's secret apprentice, like during the events of the Clone Wars, but aside from that, we know that it's been a long time since that. She's clearly a full-fledged Jedi now.
Not exactly. She actually
ended up the Jedi Order.
She left the Order because I didn't see the series. I just know like of the scene because I saw a clip. They like accuse her of something, and because of that, like after they put her through this whole ordeal, they're like, "We see now. This was your test to becoming a knight, and we acknowledge that. We might be sorry, but the Force works in mysterious ways. You may come back into our group." And she's like, see ya.
It's almost like the Jedi Order is some sort of religious cult.
Yeah, it's almost like
very stringent, outdated rules.
It's almost like they deal in absolutes. And that could be also contributing to their clouded vision.
Yeah.
The Force is only dichotomous, only dark and light. Oh no! Will we ever get Grey Jedi? Here's a hint. Mayfeld, aka Bill Burr, is the key to the gray nature of the Star Wars universe. It's actually
Did I ever tell you how much I fucking hate Star Wars?
I saw that. That was great.
Yeah, I thought that was... It's funny, because it's like, Bill Burr is like... okay, so Mayfield is like one of my favorite characters in The Mandalorian, and yet Bill Burr absolutely hates the Star Wars universe. So it's just hilarious that they actually...
Well, he hates everything.
That he's just... Yeah, but he's great.
Yeah, he's great in it. It's like he's so, I guess, fish out of water as a person in it that I think it actually contributes to his character, because... I don't want to say, like, I don't want to narrow it down and just say he's Han Solo-ish, but he is that kind of, type of wise guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was riffing in the last episode he was in, like, when he's making cracks at Cara Dune. I don't think that was in the script.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I will say one of my favorite lines in the entire season was in this last, not this last episode, but Mayfield's last appearance, right? It's like we all have boundaries that we won't push until we need to push them, until... I'm butchering the line, but you know the line I'm talking about, right? Like when they're talking alone in the car.
When he's basically saying, when it comes down to it, we're all kind of the same. And I do see what he's saying because...
Yeah. It's like a great philosophy lesson right there.
This is slightly spoiler territory for his episode, but it I guess is trying to come off as sort of a redemption for him. But at the end of the day, like he's accusing them of just like killing indiscriminately, mass death, and what happens in that episode, there's indiscriminate killing and mass death, and that happens everywhere their group goes. Like Moff Gideon says, he's like, I bet they killed everyone on the bridge, like the savage murderers they are. There's a lot of death going around. That's why it's Star Wars. Everybody's got blood in their hands.
Yeah, so to sort of say that, one person is any more guilty than anyone else is just inherently hypocritical,
Yeah.
And basically, anyone on this series has blood on their hands.
I don't know, Grogu is kind of fine.
Yeah, I guess, as of right now.
Grogu is the most wholesome.
I feel like he must have killed someone at some point, right? Or
killed all those fucking babies.
He's led to the death of a bunch of people.
Well, he was knocking those stormtroopers around like they were dummies.
Very true.
He was using the Force as a weapon for attack. Jedi must only use for defense. I sound like a gigantic fucking nerd right now. But get used to it. That's what this is. Anyway, moving on. This series we already knew about. The Cassian Andor series. Why make a whole series about a character who was in a movie that just...
No, it's like completely...
Spoilers at the end and doesn't exist anymore. And never did exist. I don't understand what's the point.
No, I really don't see any value in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we got Obi-Wan. Only announcement there being Hayden Christensen as Vader, but will he be inside the suit? We even hear his voice. Maybe flashbacks soon.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of wondering. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, if they're casting Hayden Christensen, I feel like there's going to be some like Obi-Wan flashbacks. There's going to be some references to not necessarily prequel or. I feel like it's going to be somewhere between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Right? I feel like there could be the potential for those moments if they're bringing Hayden Christensen in, because obviously, what would be the point of bringing him in if he's just going to be playing Darth Vader after he's Darth Vader, right?
When he takes off the helmet and you see his messed up head.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of anything.
So the one description I have for Obi-Wan right now in front of me is, it promises a new showdown between Jedi Master and failed Padawan, set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. They saw behind-the-scenes footage that wasn't broadcast to the public. It has concept art and McGregor praising Christensen's return. They did see an image of Kenobi fighting Vader. They aged up Obi-Wan.
Okay.
How can he fight him when the only time they meet?
I mean, I guess do they explicitly say at any point in the series it's his first time meeting Vader? Since...
Yes, we meet again, at last. When we last met, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
That's 20 years after.
I mean, even that could be vaguely considered.
No,
right? It could...
no, don't screw it up like they did in Clone Wars with Count Dooku. Episode 3 was supposed to be the first time they meet Count Dooku since 2, and then, they just fight him 30 times in Clone Wars.
Okay. Well, that seems like what they're going for here.
No, stop it. Okay. Do something else. They don't have to.
Well, I mean, they threw in the fucking Darth Maul bullshit in Rebels.
Yeah, but at least
Ahsoka fighting him, and then
at least with Darth Maul, he was kind of isolated. Well, I guess not. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. It's Darth Maul. It's cool. He's back.
No, I haven't. I do know he makes the appearance at the end of Solo, but that was sort of
that's going nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Maul was the kind of guy, if you're really just a fan of the actual movies, he was sort of a one-and-done villain in Phantom Menace, but they seem to have brought him back every chance they have in the extended media. So, yeah, that sort of, at least in my view, delegitimizes the character a little bit. It's like they're trying to make him into another Vader, but they're just, how do you succeed at doing that? You don't.
I don't know. I think Lucas, because I think I briefly talked about it in the last recording we did. He had some intention of bringing Maul back, having him play for the long game, but when it comes down to it, it's just a really awesome freaking character design, and how could you waste it like that? I'm still pissed they wasted Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I know some people say he doesn't
and that
have
was
a
an
character.
inherent problem with the prequel trilogy, right? There was a lot of potential ends that could have worked a lot better if they had just spent more time developing it. But ultimately, they wasted a lot of things in The Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones was obviously, in my opinion, and you might disagree with me. I feel like you probably both would agree with me, though. Attack of the Clones is probably the weakest movie in at least the trilogy, if not the franchise. if they had spaced it better, they could have brought back a lot of these characters into Attack the Clones and actually made a decent movie out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just a lot of senatorial debates and yeah.
He killed the Sand People and fucked Padme.
Not just the men,
yeah,
but the women and the children. They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them. Okay. All right, let's just run through the rest of this.
Racist.
I know, right? Why weren't they called canceled? Canceled right now. Anyway, we have the Bad Batch, which is Clone Wars Part 2. Bonus content includes more clones.
Okay.
I guess.
Visions.
Star Wars Visions, is this like Marvel?
It's an anime.
So it's like the Star Wars equivalent of What If?
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
I don't know anything about it, but that's what it sounds like.
An original series of animated.
It doesn't say animated, it says anime. So it's going to be like Marvel Fist Wars and bullshit like that.
Well, it says animated right here. And then it says anime.
The one I have says, yeah.
It says both. So I guess that, you know what's funny? And I have an issue of this, I guess you'd call it comic collected edition. There was a series called Star Wars Visionaries from back when Dark Horse used to publish Star Wars comics. That's where you got all the Darth Maul backstory. It was like, after Phantom Menace came out, you had all the Dark Horse making all these comics about like his backstory, where he had to go through these trials and everything. So the book that I have, Star Wars Visionaries, I could get it out and show it to you, but you know what? I will. I'll talk about it as I find it. First time he meets... here it is. And it's the first time he meets Obi-Wan, presumably, episode 1, and kind of is what final showdown with Obi-Wan on in Rebels, although it goes down slightly differently. But yeah, cool little tidbit there. I think that's about it for Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that's
the book of... Is it a spoiler? No, it's right there on Twitter.
It's pretty widely, yeah. We know.
So, hold on, before we start, is this confirmed to be a new show and not season 3?
It's a standalone series that takes place in the same general time frame as The Mandalorian, following this version of Boba Fett and this version of what's her name? The bounty hunter.
Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
I only know her as her actress name because she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, yeah, her. So,
and she was Chun-Li in the first Street Fighter movie.
Okay, so I did mention it before we started recording. It didn't occur to me until the last episode of Mandalorian that the guy playing Boba Fett is the guy who played Jango Fett in the original prequel.
I did not know.
Which,
like the first
it just didn't occur to me right away, but it's like it makes so much more sense. Obviously, Boba Fett is not only the son of Jango, he's a clone of Jango, so it makes sense that you would have an older Jango playing.
Yeah, it's great.
Boba. No, it's perfect casting, you know.
And I'm glad they brought back his ship too. Everything came back.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it.
That clap.
I did mention before, literally the first episode we see Boba Fett in The Mandalorian completely changed my perspective on the character. I've just thought he was so underwhelming and mediocre. He's just so overhyped in the original trilogy.
Yes.
So to see him kicking ass, to see him like at his full potential, incredible.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't think, again, I wasn't around at the time, obviously, when those came out, but I don't think it was so much that he was overhyped in the original trilogy films as much as he was like people taking it and then running with it because you have all the EU stuff, obviously.
Right.
And I happen to have another book here.
Hi, John.
It's in here. And there's a story in here where they actually have Boba Fett duel Darth Vader with a lightsaber. Yeah, it doesn't go that well for him. But anyway, yeah, you get stuff like that happens all the time where it's like with Darth Maul, a character that really doesn't have much screen time or backstory, and people expand on it, which makes it all the more asinine that the president of Lucasfilm would state, when talking about making the new movies, we have nothing to base this on. We don't have comics or books or video games or anything. Anyway.
So,
yeah.
before we get into like spoiler territory, fact that in episode 2, like Obi-Wan and, going forward, Obi-Wan, Anakin, everyone knows what the clones look like. That Darth Vader would hire Boba Fett and not be like, I knew your dad. Or anything like that, because, 5 came out before.
I mean,
Anakin never met Jango, did he?
And I mean, you never do see Anakin or Darth Vader or anyone actually hire Boba Fett. Keep in mind, he is a Mandalorian. In this universe, it's well established that the Mandalorians never remove their helmets. They're completely secretive, aside from certain sects of the whole.
Well, remember,
movement.
Boba's not Mandalorian. Only his dad was.
Yeah, but he's presenting himself as. And if you had that armor, you could easily pass as a Mandalorian. You could easily say, "Oh, I'm a bounty hunter. I'm part of this race. I don't remove my helmet. That's our whole thing." I feel like not to retcon or fansplain or whatever, but I feel like that's how.
But then you have the Mandalorians that are like, "Oh, look, we take off our helmet." What's her name? Because I don't care about her that much.
The chick from The Flash.
Bo-Katan. Oh yeah, she was Omni-Net Black.
Yeah, Snake Lady.
That's really, I never would have known that.
It occurred to me right away because she always has that same sort of expression on her face.
Yeah, I recognized her, but I'm like, where from? And then I was like, her?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, she's good in the role.
But that same context, though, we missed an opportunity for 2 characters to reunite in that last episode. Somebody showed up, but the other one was out flying around.
One of these supposedly killed the other one. I did think about that, and I thought that would have been an awkward. You
mean Boba
survived?
Don't.
There he goes.
Nobody heard that.
Sorry, I realized. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. We'll get into it shortly. Really fast. There's a few other things here. Lando limited series.
No.
This one it could be interesting. A new series called The Acolyte, a mystery thriller that will take you into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. That Old Republic? I think it is. How long have we been saying do something with Old Republic? But don't mess it up.
They're gonna fuck it up.
Well, if it's anything like what we have so far on the, I guess you would call it TV side of things, then maybe there's a slight hope. What else?
New hope?
Something Taika Waititi doesn't say specifically. Oh, Patty Jenkins to direct a Rogue Squadron.
That's a movie.
Yeah. It just say feature. So yeah, maybe you're right. And then a Rogue Squadron movie. Remember Rogue Squadron 3D, the game? And then Rogue Leader and Rebel Strike? Well, they're making a movie.
You're talking about recasting Luke as Sebastian Stan for that movie.
I could actually see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right.
I saw someone make a
looks,
comparison.
Yeah, very similar.
Similar jawline.
Similar face shape. I could see him getting the haircut and everything.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's supposed to tie into Rogue One.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently, in the comics after Marvel bought it back in 2018, it was Star Wars number 52 or 58, and it says, because of course Screen Rant and all them went on a fucking rampage about this shit, but they were like, yeah, Luke named the squadron after the Rogue One crew, and it was like, oh, if we're gonna follow in their footsteps, we have to act like them.
So die?
I don't know. Did they not anyway?
Yeah, most of them did, didn't they? Let's see. Didn't Wedge end up ramming into the Superstar Destroyer?
That's the one he was talking to, too. Yeah.
There you go. And don't forget Porkins. Rest in peace, Porkins. Alas,
wasn't
his
that
weight...
Red Squadron?
I don't know. But alas, I was going to say, alas, his weight brought down his ship.
I feel like we've been lingering on Star Wars for long enough. We're going to get into the Mandalorian stuff, but let's get onto the Marvel stuff since there's a lot there.
All right. Who wants to take this one? Talking a lot.
I don't have the thread in front
CJ.
of me. So.
He doesn't have the thread.
Yeah. Well, I will say... Yeah, that's true. That's sort of the big one, right? So we know a Fantastic Four film is coming. No casting information has been released at this point. We do know that John Watt, who directed the new Spider-Man trilogy, is going to be directing the Fantastic Four movie, which seems like a pretty obvious choice, if you ask me. I'm happy to see what he does with it. I've actually really enjoyed the new Spider-Man movies. I know it's sort of divisive amongst Marvel fans, but I fully get that. I'm anxious to see how they bring the Fantastic Four into this whole series. We do know Kang the Conqueror is coming in Ant-Man 3. So there's probably going to be a tie in there. There's probably going to be some reference to them since it's literally Reed Richards in the future, or Reed Richards' descendant in the future. There's a lot there, but I'm anxious to see what you guys think since it's obviously a pretty big property.
Let's hope they don't fuck it up.
Well, you could say that about every single revival, but I mean, we knew Fantastic Four was coming for a while. They introduced the Skrulls, and you don't have Avengers now, so what are you going to do? You need a new team-up movie, even though, I guess, by nature, Fantastic Four is always a team-up. Here's
They're never
what they
going to
have
have
to
a
do.
standalone Human Torch.
Here's what I'd rather see.
Have a standalone thing.
Don't do a live-action Fantastic Four. Do it Pixar style. Have them cross over multiverse style into the Incredibles universe. Do it. Make it so.
They already are the Fantastic Four.
I know.
It's literally the same. Yeah.
Just do it. It would be funny. What else are they going
Anyway, tying into what the subject you want to talk about later, a show that's got moved around a couple times now, WandaVision.
Yes.
Yeah, they're finally coming out.
January 15th. So in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean we're seeing like bits and pieces. We're seeing trailers. We have a general idea of what the show's going to be. It's like I'm getting the sense that Wanda used her powers to create an alternate reality where she and Vision are both alive, well, and happy, and all that good stuff. And she's made this reality so convincing that even they don't realize they're in this whole thing, and it's like sort of crumbling around her, which is why you see all the mood shifts. And that's at least my initial theory, just based on the media we've seen. It does look like they borrow a lot from various eras of television, and you're sort of seeing these shifts and these sort of cracks in the matrix.
I was going to say the whole thing with her creating her own reality kind of reminds me of
House of M. Yeah.
Yes. How did you know? Yeah. I guess it was obvious.
Because it's like literally the most famous Scarlet Witch story. Yeah. No more mutants, man. No more mutants.
Aren't they going to introduce mutants?
So
that is the big question.
Probably not yet.
Yeah, no, that's going to be... I feel like that's going to follow the multiverse stuff, right?
Could be.
Yeah.
So, characters that are returning, Kat Dennings as Darcy, and Randall Park will play Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Tanya Paris will play the adult version of Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel. Rambeau. So that's going to connect into a few different movies: Captain Marvel 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. And that's supposedly going to also include the introduction of Sword, and directly tie into Doctor Strange.
Isn't the whole Sword thing? Aren't they like the anti-Shield? Wasn't that going to be the? I know there's some Nick Fury series.
No, Sword is like the outer space one. So.
Okay.
I don't know why that would be in Scarlet Witch and not Captain America. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is the next one that comes out.
Which I'm shocked we haven't seen an actual trailer for that yet.
No, there was a little one.
Was there a teaser?
Yeah, and guess what? Neither of them are wearing the Captain America outfit. No Bucky Cap, no Captain Falcon. What the fuck? What's the point?
Captain Falcon!
Yeah, like, he gives him the shield, at least make him Captain Falcon, even though Bucky should have got it. That should have been the end of their arc. They were best friends till the end, and he passes it down to his friend. Instead, he gives it to Sam Wilson. Why?
Just some random guy he met jogging.
Literally.
Yeah. No, they really did sort of shoehorn Sam Wilson into the whole thing. Which, I don't even hate the character. I like Anthony Mackie in the role.
Yeah, he's fine, but it just didn't...
It's like, it's like Bucky just seems like so much more of a natural choice there. But, it's like, I made my peace with it. Endgame was 2 years ago. Right.
They had 40 years of comic history when they did it, but only had like 4 years of fucking movie. No, 6 years of movies to go on here.
First Avenger was 2011, right?
Yeah. So and Falcon and
So
that
9
was
years.
2014.
No, 8 years. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like, Cap and Sam had like a history of like at least 40 plus years of friendship in the comics before they were like, yeah, you're gonna be Captain America now. And they're like, oh, but we want a black Captain America, so we're gonna go with this thread line, even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to go with the whole like, oh, they clearly did this just to appease a certain faction of the base, but it's like, you know, you can't help but think that's the case, just given the culture war right now.
The one thing I could have thought in universe reasoning maybe was that Bucky at that point is still wanted, like he's still seen as a criminal, but if he wears the mask, no one will know it's him.
Yeah, I was thinking that for a little while, but you know, it's like at this point he has everyone in the Marvel universe on his side. I feel like they can all sort of attest for him. If there's like, you know, it's like the whole I've heard that argument made before, right? That he's probably still wanted, that he doesn't have the best reputation. Does anyone care what the Winter Soldier did beyond Black Panther?
He killed my parents!
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
General
They're all
Thunderbolt.
dead now, anyway.
Yeah, literally anyone who cares that he was the Winter Soldier is dead. So,
except General Thunderbolt, right? He still wants everyone arrested.
Oh, Thaddeus Ross, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he coming back for She-Hulk, Thaddeus? John Hurt?
We will find that out later.
Because I'm waiting for them to bring out Red Hulk, and it seems like they are really dragging this out. They are bringing back Abomination for She-Hulk, which I'm psyched about.
Yes, they are. So, the Winter Soldier comes out in March, and then 2 months later we get Loki.
Loki. So what is this business? He's with some time agency now, Legends of Tomorrow style or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think he seems like a multi-dimensional.
He's just with Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just Owen Wilson. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing does sort of seem like a chaos control agency or something. They're sort of loose about it, but I can sort of see where they're going here.
I looked it up, but I can't for the life of me remember what the heck they were called. It's something I've never heard of. It's like one of those, I guess, really sweaty things you have to know.
Yeah, it was one of
really
these.
In-depth in the
it was one of these like sort of obscure Marvel agencies that I think some diehard fans probably know about, but you know, if you're just a casual fan, you're never going to have heard of these guys. I do like where they're pulling Loki from, right? Like, we see, obviously, that this is the Loki from Endgame that escaped with the Space Stone.
Yeah, it's not our Loki. The other one.
Right. That was a smart
approach. It's not the good Loki. It's the bad Loki.
Yeah. Which I'm down for, right?
I think
it makes sense. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want them to have brought him back or have this be a prequel thing just for the sake of making bank off the actor. Like, you know, I hesitate to think that
you gotta wonder,
they had that planned ahead of time. That whole the timeline doesn't retroactively correct itself. It's just alternate always. Which I still don't know how that works.
It makes sense, though. And it sort of makes sense when you think about the whole multiverse theory. It makes sense when you think about extended media. It makes sense for correcting plot holes. You could always explain it away by saying it's an alternate timeline.
But then you can't.
It opens up a lot of possibilities, and it was a pretty smart storytelling device.
So, well, going off of CJ's words, it opens up a lot of possibilities. The next show is What If, starring almost the entire MCU cast as their characters: Michael B. Jordan, Sebastian Stan, Josh Brolin, Mark Ruffalo, Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Hemsworth, Haley Atwell, Chadwick Boseman, Karen Gillan, Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd. I was
about to say, it's like Chadwick Boseman's last time playing T'Challa, right?
It is.
Yeah, because as far as I know, Black Panther 2 never actually filmed anything, so which, you know, it's a shame. I will say, and that was the thing that really made me wonder when we heard about Chadwick Boseman's death, right? Like, how they're going to continue on this franchise that is so widely popular, that's so well loved by some communities. It's like how do you, first of all, carry on a franchise when your star is dead? Do you just recast someone who is just this beloved, someone who's brought this character to life? Thank God they're not doing that because, like, could anyone actually do the same justice to this character that Chadwick Boseman did?
I don't even know
but
enough
it's like,
about him.
Now I'm just wondering how they're going to explain away the death of T'Challa or the writing out of T'Challa, or like what the heck happened to him that he's not in this movie. You know,
The same thing that happened to Ruby Rose Batwoman. Gone. Where?
just off.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did you see the teaser for that? I think it was just like the new actress in the costume.
The CW early promotional stuff has been pretty underwhelming, considering a lot of this is coming back pretty soon. I think some of those series are coming back end of January, right? Or is it all fixed?
So.
Okay, that's cool. I need Flash in my life. I will say it's very cheesy at moments, and it's been getting progressively cheesier. But you know, I need that stress relief. You know,
you really need more Iris telling you that you're not the Flash.
I really do. I need that in my life.
You really need Ralph not existing because he made some bad jokes and now he must be killed.
You know, we were going to do a cancel culture podcast like right after they announced that he was out, and we just never did.
Yeah, like...
You really want more Run, Barry?
Yeah. I have no idea what they're going to do with the Flash for the next season, but it just seems like such a mess between COVID, between, you know, them removing a character forcibly from the show. Between them literally just ending on a cliffhanger that really didn't need to be a cliffhanger. It's gonna be weird, man.
Isn't the new villain supposed to be...
So next week... Oh, sorry.
Weren't they gonna do Godspeed now? Again?
I think they were hinting at it, but... Yeah.
They're gonna tie that up, and they're gonna bring back a few others. They said they promised to bring back some other old villains. Holy shit! So you mean they're gonna bring back like the Reverse Flash, maybe Savitar and Zoom again?
Why?
Oh, so it's gonna be...
Why not?
It's gonna be the Legion of Flash Doom.
That's all it is.
It's the Sinister Speedster 6.
I mean, Reverse Flash, they've been hinting, is going to make his return for the longest time. That doesn't shock me.
When did he not?
Yeah, exactly. He's just a recurring problem in the Flash's universe. Yeah. Which, you know, is true to the comics, too, right? You never get rid of Eobard Thawne.
It will be a different actor, though.
What? It's not going to be, what's his name?
Matt Lesher? Or Harrison Wells?
Harrison Wells. Tom Cavanaugh.
You guys saw season 6, right?
Yeah.
And they exorcised him from Indiana Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
For some reason. And they didn't write him off. Yeah. It's like, I thought it was just going to be a thing where they kept having him switch Harrison Wells each season, which is what they'd been doing up until this point. But obviously, they didn't have the opportunity to write this one off, so... It seems like he's in it for the long haul as this version of Harrison Wells. Although I will say Harry is my favorite Wells by far, and they just have...
Which one is that?
Season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too many.
Harry. Earth.
So, back on Marvel, then there's Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk.
We got into She-Hulk a little bit.
Isn't Hawkeye the female version, though?
Yeah, so it's Haley Steinfeld.
It's both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Jeremy Renner is essentially passing on the mantle to this younger version of the character. Which, again, you know, they need to write some of these older characters off the show. They're not going to have the original 6 Avengers on forever.
You know,
so it's nice that they're making that transition now and making it seem a little more like relevant to the story as opposed to just forcibly exiting these characters.
Isn't that what they were trying to do with Arrow? But I still just don't buy it. How this little like 4 foot tall, really thin girl is kicking all these like 300-pound guys' asses. She's not enhanced strength. She's not superhuman. I don't care how much karate you know. That you cannot overcome. Neither was Oliver.
Well, how do you explain away Black Canary?
Okay, well, she actually has powers.
Yeah, but she's not like. Is she physically strong in Arrow? Because in most.
That's why Laurel was fucking killed.
Her voice is literally the whole thing. Yeah.
Laurel was destroyed to CJ. The original Laurel.
Again, I haven't seen enough Arrow to really judge it. I'm just saying, in the extended media, Black Canary is this kick-ass, basically the Black Widow of the DC universe, and her only ability is her voice, right?
Black Widow's dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So the whole timeline thing doesn't retroactively change things. how could they not just go and get another Black Widow or get another Tony Stark? Why didn't Doctor Strange use the Time Stone to just reverse Tony Stark dying?
They could pretty easily, but it's like he got so much shit for using the Time Stone in his own movie. It could fundamentally change the universe, and it's that explanation. There's not really a good reason around it, but I guess they have to come up with something if they really want fans to buy it.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is sidekick stories are... Speaking of which,
CJ, I know you wanted to talk about Ms. Marvel.
I don't have strong opinions about it, but it's like, I remember a few weeks ago when they announced the casting choices, everyone was losing their shit about it. Not really anyone who cares, but a lot of just people on Twitter were randomly just complaining about every single casting choice. And I don't even have the cast list in front of me, but it's like, they were complaining that the one best friend who is supposed to be a Muslim character isn't a practicing Muslim, or she's the wrong ethnicity or something. And it's like, if she's a good actress, who really cares where she's from? They were complaining of the guy playing their Italian American neighbor is, he was a Trump supporter apparently, which shouldn't really matter if you're an actor, right? What your political affiliation is. I don't even think the guy was Italian, but no one complained about that, so I just find that ironic. I really don't have strong opinions about the casting choice. If if the people who this show is made for really care that much, maybe they should think about recasting. But does anyone really care about it in the long run, or it's just something that people are bitching about at the moment that it was announced?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Definitely.
I think that's mostly what it is. I feel like once the show actually airs, people are going to forget about any sort of casting controversy, and people will move on because that's how these things usually play out.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And Mike is muted. I think his kid's crying in the background.
No, I'm good.
Okay, y'all good?
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah, that's
what
coming.
is that about?
It's the one where the Skrulls replace everyone.
I know, but it's like, so how does that fit chronologically? The whole thing, like, is that...
the Skrulls are essentially portrayed as good guys throughout most of the extended universe so far.
Yeah, we could always have the bad guy. Now we can have Super Skrull.
I guess you could, but I feel like that's sort of getting confusing and everything. I don't know. I feel like it's too soon, too fast for that, especially when they've sort of geared our thinking of the Skrulls as being mostly a force for positive. Like, I don't know. I just don't see it working out right now, but they clearly have some plan in motion. So we'll see.
John, your favorite show, Ironheart.
Why? Why? No, do not do that. Why, please?
Riri.
No, nobody's favorite. Nobody's favorite. Terrible. Hi guys, I stole this armor and I hacked it with my hacking skills with my
She builds it.
No, she steals it first. She steals the tech.
No.
Yeah,
not in this universe.
Stories. Yeah.
Oh, well, in this we want to be whatever they want. Well, I guess it makes sense because Tony Stark is dead.
Tony Stark's alive.
Is he? Did he download his consciousness into the... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so has Robert Downey Jr. completely said he's out for good? Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently the other day they said that Robert Downey Jr. was moving on from his role completely. He said he was done with the MCU. He thanked him for everything it gave him, but then he was done. Of course, I didn't read the article because that was all in the headline. So I was like, fuck it.
I just remember when he did the Joe Rogan appearance, he was sort of saying, don't rule anything out. I'd consider doing it. He sort of left it open. So I don't know. Who knows in the long run? If they want to bring him back for a cameo or something. It would be a shame to lose him, but I guess it would also sort of undermine his sacrifice, right?
I'd rather just Rhodey take over Iron Man. But
yeah, I'd be down for that.
Armor Wars.
Armor Wars, yeah. And you said that that's based on the same plot as they've already done. Oh no, the armor got taken by bad guys. Whatever shall we do? We gotta get more armor and shoot them, blast them. Okay.
So there's a chance to bring in like Crimson Dynamo and a few other characters that haven't been at least shown in the MCU, but
Crimson Dynamo's identity was already used. Ivan
Was it?
Vanko is Crimson Dynamo in the comics, but they made him Whiplash in the movie.
But yeah.
But
Wasn't there another Crimson Dynamo?
I don't know. But you know what's funny? In the Iron Man 2 video game tie-in with the movie, you fight Crimson Dynamo, but it's not Ivan Vanko, and they made toys of him.
Oh, speaking of the toys, did you guys see the Baron Zemo toys for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No.
He's got the mask.
Okay, so it's more comic accurate. Well, that's interesting. It's weird to see them bring him back after like the plot of Civil War. I can't see him being a recurring bad guy. But,
He was just Guy.
Yeah.
He was just a guy with like, I'm mad.
Yeah. Just sort of just a generic mastermind. Doesn't really fill the whole Zemo character. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much everything I had for Marvel. Was there anything else that really brought your attention towards this? Oh, yeah, that's true.
What was it?
So we do. Yeah, so there is some Guardians media coming out. Like we know, there is a Groot series, right? Solo series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. We have the holiday special coming, which is literally just, James Gunn basically said, "Oh, I love the Star Wars holiday special, but this is basically going to be my take on it with the Guardians characters." And I'm down for that. Sounds like fun.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna parody that, it would be James Gunn who would do it, considering his background in like B movie. Yeah, and then what else? What is this Legends? What is Marvel Studios Legends? I don't know what that.
I have no idea. I probably did hear about it at first. Hold on, I'm gonna Google this.
I don't know. I see an image here.
In She-Hulk, they're going to bring back the leader.
Yeah, I'm not seeing too much about it.
They should, right? They set that up.
Marvel Studios Legends is a new series that will showcase individual characters viewers have come to know and love over the years and revisit some of their most iconic moments. Kicks off by highlighting Wanda Maximoff and Vision. There's 2 stars of WandaVision.
We talked about that already, I think. I just forgot.
So
I'm
like a
not
documentary
sure.
or...
It sounds like it's just like each episode is like a showcase on a different character, which, okay. It's like a standalone movie, but in episode form. It's weird. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much about that. It's just another series that's coming. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I think that's it for Marvel, basically.
Well, unless you want to bring up the Spider-Verse rumors. Some of it's not.
The problem with doing a live show is that I have had to piss for the last 20 minutes, and I'm trying really hard to hold it in. Give me 2 seconds. You guys talk.
Oh, this is
I'm gonna go acquire my Spider-Man figures for this.
All right, so I guess I'll just talk to myself then.
I'm gonna go acquire 3 Spider-Men.
So we got Alfred Molina, right? He is coming back. Different Dr. Octopus, I get. I'm seeing we're getting Sandman back. I think that's still a maybe at this point. We're getting Electro back, Jamie Foxx Electro. Why? I don't know. Who even liked him? I actually did. But it's going to be weird. You're getting villains from, or at least the one villain from the Andrew Garfield movie, and you're getting them from the Sam Raimi movies, and they're mixing them all together, and then you have the ones from the Tom Holland ones. What's going to happen? And where the hell is Tobey Maguire? Sign the damn contract. Toby, come on. Come on, what else are you doing? Listen to your Uncle Ben. You are Spider-Man. Not no more. Your responsibility. You have great power. Memes gave you great power. Now it's your responsibility to return and give us the real Spider-Man we deserve. Come on. Willem Dafoe's coming back. Isn't he? If Willem Dafoe's coming back, Toby has to come. There you go. Am I right? First we attack his heart.
What have you been going off to this entire time?
I'm just saying that they're basically bringing back every villain character from every other Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah? Where's Topher Grace?
Ain't about that.
Yeah, well, these two are gonna go have their own little movie over here in this section of Spider-Verse.
I just can't see Woody Harrelson doing. I don't know. I'm too old.
There's gonna be carnage.
When I get out of here, I will. Gonna be a sequel, possibly titled "The Name of My Character," which may or may not be a word.
God.
Do you know what it is?
Okay, so I didn't hear any of that, but it's like the second I sat down, I see Mike playing with these action figures. I'm assuming you were
I have a
describing
kid!
the plot of the second Venom movie.
I've had sex and have a child.
And don't they
That's probably how they're going to
Buddy?
introduce Carnage, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they
I'm an
reproduced by Buddy.
adult.
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I think it's in production if it's not done by now, but they announced that a while back. Yeah, so I guess we're probably talking about like potential cameos in Spider-Man.
I walked in here and John's going off up to the audience.
The villains,
About
they're all
William
coming
Dafoe.
back. Are they going to be big roles, or like actual roles, or just cameos? Like in a window, you'll see their face. That would be lame.
But it's like I can't, for the amount of characters they're bringing into this thing. Supposedly, it's hard to imagine they'd all have some large role.
Well, they've been trying to do Sinister Six for the longest damn time.
Yeah, and it's like they're building that in Sony's Marvel universe. Right?
No,
like,
no.
with
There's
Venom.
not going to be a solo Sinister Six movie because that makes no goddamn sense. How could you?
Oh, yeah, there's a
think
Kraven the Hunter fucking movie.
There's a Kraven the Hunter movie. We're getting the Morbius movie. Venom.
Black Cat
is-
movie.
That's true. I could see Venom being like an actual hero since they portray him as an anti-hero in his own movie, right?
Is he getting the Flash Thompson treatment, or is he just going to go on with the Eddie Brock anti-hero shit?
I think that's what they're gearing towards right now because it's like Eddie Brock is already well established, or not Eddie Brock. Flash Thompson's already well established in the Spider-Man trilogy that has been set up in Marvel. That version of Flash
Not
isn't
that
going
well
to come.
established.
Get this. The guy who played Flash Thompson in the original Spider-Man movie was Joe
Manganiello.
Manganiello.
Is, or at least was, supposed to be Deathstroke.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in the
I
Snyder
think he
Cut.
still officially casts that. Yeah, he
I
is.
just found that funny. Because I never would have known until I
I
read
didn't
it.
know that.
I
I saw it the other day.
Well, I knew who he was because I was a diehard How I Met Your Mother fan growing up, and he's like got a recurring role in the show, so I knew him from that. And I just recognized his face as being both Flash Thompson, like whenever the last time I saw the Spider-Man trilogy was. And
Where is
I
he in the
recognized-
show?
He's one of Marshall's old law school buddies, Brad.
Oh, really? Did he come live with them during a few episodes?
He's
or something?
it's like he's got a whole recurring arc where it's like he's like down on his luck, his girlfriend dumped him, he ends up infiltrating Marshall's law firm, like he basically says he's lost his job, lost his livelihood, and this is his way of trying to it's I don't want to get too deep into How I Met Your Mother because it doesn't really fit the format of the show here, but he's good on it.
Anyway,
I met my doppelganger.
while you were both gone, I was just going off on how Toby has a great power right now. It's his great responsibility to be Spider-Man once more. Like no pressure, but I'm just saying.
And die.
I'm just saying, Toby. What else are you doing?
And they
Come on.
die.
Like if his fear was that being Spider-Man again would, like, I guess, have him typecast as that or something, like have a negative impact on his career. Again,
He's
I would
already
say,
well past that.
what really has he done outside of that people know a lot about? It's like the Tom Welling thing where he refused to wear the suit.
Seabiscuit.
He was in The Great
What did he do?
Gatsby.
True.
Yeah.
And he was in Brothers, where he screamed a lot. And now that gets edited into the Spider-Man, or Toby in the MCU thing. Do you know how much I suffered? Do you know what I can do with these hands? You're gonna show
Next
me?
question is to like what Tom Holland's going to be doing post Spider-Man career, right? Because it seems like Andrew Garfield has had a few standalone movies that have been great. So has Tobey Maguire, but they're both just forever known as being in that role.
Yes.
So Tom Holland just had that Netflix movie come out.
Yeah, what was the name of that?
He was. I I gave it like 5 minutes of a shot.
With,
and I just couldn't stand it.
Do you know anyone who's actually seen it?
Skarsgård.
With that, it's with Ray, right? What's her name? Daisy Ridley, and it's like,
oh,
right?
I have no idea what the movie is, but I'm just saying it's like,
I'm pretty sure it's this movie with him and Daisy Ridley, and it's like the plot is about.
Oh wait, no, that's not out yet.
Okay.
So I was talking about the devil all the time.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
He has the Uncharted movie coming out.
Whenever that's going to happen.
He's Nathan Drake in Uncharted. He's in that Chaos Walking movie, and he was in that Disney Pixar movie Onward. So he has.
Oh yeah, he was in that with Chris Pratt, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good for him. I'm not saying he's not going to have a career, but I think it's going to be hard for him to actually break away from the Spider-Man role once he's like more.
I mean, Spider-Boy.
Well, he's going to be signed into it for the next 14 years. So I mean.
Oh yeah, he's not getting away from it anytime soon. But
you mean Miles Morales, but not really.
Yeah. When are they going to bring Miles Morales into live action? Because
please don't.
It's like they're putting him in every other media front and center. So
TJ, please stop.
I feel like that's
stop with this theory now.
Stuff, right?
The thing is, they stole all of Miles' traits and gave them to Peter for, the Tom Holland version. I kind of don't like.
They really didn't.
No, they did. Like the whole thing with his friend Ned, that is entirely based on the best friend of Miles Morales, and obviously he's younger, which fits with that. He has I guess you could say Tony Stark is like his father figure, but Miles actually has his father. And then he has an uncle who's the villain. That doesn't really... there's some crossover there. Because I'm pretty sure, I remember reading about that Sony did want to do Miles, but since Spider-Man hadn't yet been in the MCU, you got to do Peter first. But we want to do Miles' story. Let's just smash them together, and boom.
When's Into the Spider-Verse 2?
Which kills me, because...
2022?
2021.
Oh, okay, next year. Nice. Yeah, that's been a while, right? Like 2 or 3 years at this point since the first one.
Wasn't it 2018? Spider-Verse 1 was 2018.
Okay, so it's been already 2 years. Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
Okay, so what else do we have?
Oh, no. Spider-Verse 2 is October 7th, 2022.
Got my hopes up, Mike.
So 4 years.
Okay. Okay, so is there anything else Marvel related we got, or do we want to move back to the Mandalorian since we were going to talk
about
the
Mandos?
Okay, so I do have a couple thoughts.
Hold on. Let me put up the thing. And is it on? It's on.
I heard a pop, so
that was me.
I think it's done. Okay, it sounded like an actual sound effect, like that automatically comes up.
I'm good like that.
Did we want to invite in some guests? Since we haven't done that yet, and
I think Jack is on deck.
Hey, Jack, if you're listening,
you're watching.
Come talk with us. Let's figure this out. Let's talk Mandalorian.
Oh, Jake's talking too.
Jake, I want to have on later because unless he wants to come on for this too, but I wanted to talk a bit about a certain
Cyberpunk.
game.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk and another game that was just an alpha sequel to a game made 12 years ago. That Valve refuses to make a sequel to because they can't count past the number 2.
Gotcha.
Not halfway.
Okay, Jack has entered the chat.
All right.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
What are we seeing here?
I'm messing
there he
things
is.
up. I'm messing things up.
Okay, Jake, join us later for Cyberpunk. We're talking with Jack.
All right.
We've got Jack Burns live on the podcast.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Jack.
What's going on?
If he shows up.
Okay, so we are talking Mandalorian. I accidentally mentioned one of the spoilers before we
Luke Skywalker is back!
yeah, that
was literally everyone's reaction on Twitter.
Something I was very, very shocked.
Yeah. So John and I were talking a little bit before about this. First of all, before we actually talk about like the episode and his performance, what did you think of the CGI on Luke Skywalker? Do you think it was convincing? Do you think it was sort of creepy?
I thought it was a different actor, to be honest. It got me pretty good, I'll be honest.
Like it didn't look like Mark Hamill to you, or?
I did look like Mark Hamill, obviously. I thought it was just an actor that like they made like just put a wig on him that made like, hey, you're slightly younger but slightly older Mark Hamill. Here you go. I was like, what the fuck?
Gotcha.
And then R2 came in, and I was just like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
kind of with you on that. The CGI, like, I clearly saw obviously what they were going for, but it just wasn't quite there enough to fully convince me. It just looked a little uncanny.
It's better than Carrie Fisher's.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, well, the technology's come a long way in just a couple years.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I will say, I think if you're just looking at it fast, if you're not the kind of person who has the eye for this sort of thing, pretty convincing, right? Like, it looks like
it was
Mark
impressive.
Hamill just aged up 5 years from the end of the
It was
original
adequate.
trilogy. And it's there. I thought it looked pretty good, especially for where the technology is at the time.
I enjoyed thoroughly how it went full circle with how, here, I'm going to teach the species that was my master. I was just like, well, okay, shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah,
So.
true. That was a full circle thing for me, and I was just like, all right, you sons of bitches, well done.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, right? Like,
Oh, yeah, no, I'm excited.
It's like they're not. I mean, I feel like they're not going to lean too much on Luke, just because
I hope not.
his story's been told. We
Oh,
really
no
don't need to see
shit.
too much more Luke Skywalker. It would sort of undermine a lot of what we know about the character.
Yeah, but let's do this. Let's bring back his dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were talking about that earlier.
I've been listening the entire time, you sons of bitches.
So that being said, they're never going to get rid of Grogu, right? They're going to bring him back.
Oh yeah.
The whole point of the Mandalorian is the bond between, the Mandalorian and Grogu, right? Like, you want to see that relationship grow. You're seeing in real time him becoming this totally different person because he's got this extra life to care for.
Dude literally takes off his helmet and breaks the code.
Yeah, and
Did
you could argue that his
you?
arc with the character is over because of that performance, but at the same time, I really don't see it ending. I feel like it's integral to the show's success not only to have that character there, but to have that relationship.
I feel like at some point, that one of the series, Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett, is going to be like ending, and then like they team up together, and they'll do something like that, probably knowing how Star Wars is, but who knows there. But like so far, I've enjoyed it thoroughly, actually, because I'm just like, okay, they made it its own thing. This is actually a completely separate story from all the movies altogether, and I like that the most part because it's actually creative, even though they asked some of the dumbest questions in the goddamn world, going, "Hey, you lose anyone in Alderaan?"
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I'm
were
just like,
asking
really,
good shot.
you idiots.
You're really gonna piss her off like that.
I was just like,
what,
oh my
what do
god,
they expect the outcome to be there, right?
yeah, it's just like, hey, were you able to bury your parents? I was like, what the fuck, man?
He might as well have just held up a sign that said, "Please shoot me in the face. I'm a dumb idiot."
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off Gina Carano, okay?
Oh, no, seriously. Like, I love Carol Dune personally as a character overall
she's
from the
great,
seasons, from both seasons overall. I'm like, oh my god, this woman's a badass. Yes, where's her backstory? Like, was she like some princess on Alderaan or something? I completely forget though.
Well, Alderaan's a massive planet. It's sort
yeah.
of. I mean, we don't know what the full royal structure is, but it's sort of assumed that Leia was. Well, not assumed. We know Leia was adopted by the royal family of Alderaan.
Oh, right.
She was their princess.
Yeah, she was adopted by Jimmy Smith.
I don't think there was much more to it than that. So yeah, I don't think she was. What's her name? Cara Dune was royalty or anything. I mean, the way
No,
she
I
was
was
a
going to say, I
rebel
wouldn't
trooper.
be surprised if she was one of the royal guards or some crap. Just considering, like, she's like She-Hulk, but human.
Well, she definitely had some sort of military training or some sort of.
No, she was the shock trooper.
Oh, right, she was a shock trooper.
Right. Okay, so
which is code word for
excuse me.
extremely badass. Do not mess with because she will kick ass.
Yeah, so she's great.
I guess.
How do you fix your gun that shoots lasers? I don't know. Let's slam it on the ground a couple times. I was like, excuse me?
Get jammed.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
Also, someone answer me this: how does a blaster that shoots lasers run out of ammo?
The only thing I can think is it is ammo rounds, and they're just ignited with energy or something. That would be new news to me.
Explicitly said that make the most sense, but I was like, what?
Every
time. So, John, with that theory, if you just hold down a trigger, can you just have your own lightsaber from the gun?
Well, no, because it's always firing, right? So,
well,
Yeah,
because clearly we see blasters
know.
are extremely underpowered compared to lightsabers. Like when he's shooting at the Dark Trooper, it just bounces right off. And yet when Luke comes by, just there they go.
Right. Yeah, that's another great thing about that whole scene, right? Like, you know, you obviously get the sense that all these people are skilled fighters, that all of them have their own talents. Mandalorian's obviously a badass throughout the entire series.
Oh, yeah.
But he is having trouble fighting against one of these things. Luke kills them all like they're nothing. Like they're literally just pinatas that he's knocking down with a lightsaber.
He literally like had to use like all of his weapons and then let the best card go full out like let's go mode. Get him right in the weak point where like you know the circuits connect to the whatever I don't know machinery. All right,
a central processing unit.
And then out of nowhere, Luke Skywalker comes in. I'm gonna chop through these guys like it's a steak knife and butter. And I'm like, what?
It really just reaffirms how strong the Jedi are. It really reaffirms how great of a character Luke Skywalker is.
Yes,
it just shows
it does.
Like the disparity in power between Luke and the Mandalorian and a lot of the rest of the cast. So yeah, it was incredibly well done.
So it shows a lot. Like, has everyone here seen Rogue One?
Yeah,
I don't think I have. Shocker.
You've seen Solo, but not
have you at least seen
I've seen Solo, but not.
Have you at least seen the Darth Vader scene on YouTube?
What?
Did you see the Darth Vader scene on YouTube?
Which Darth Vader scene?
And there's a Darth Vader scene in Rogue One, yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well, there's a few, but specifically the end one he's referring to, I'm assuming.
So it's worth mentioning that Rogue One takes place right before New Hope, right before the original Star Wars. Literally within minutes. The end of Rogue One is literally within minutes of the beginning of the original Star Wars. So you do have this really badass scene where Darth Vader is basically just... I think that's the best way I can
visualize it. Jazz hands in front of the war console, right?
He's basically
Mike, you wanted to
so for my point, it's that you see so much more of these characters in the shows or the spin-off movies rather than actual in the movies themselves. Like you don't see Luke be a badass in you kind of see his his hallucination be a hologram. I mean be a badass in The Last Jedi, but you don't see him be a badass like you just saw him being a badass at the end of the Mandalorian.
Well, he's also like an old man in The Last Jedi. He's
retired because he failed Kylo Ren or Ben or whatever the hell he wants to freaking identify himself as.
No excuses. Not when Yoda can move around like he does.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yoda's also a different species, Mike.
900 years old. You don't
and Sidious. Not Sidious. Episode 2, Episode 3 cuts off Anakin's hand.
Dooku.
Oh, Dooku.
Yeah.
He moves pretty well for an old man, too.
I was going to say, like, all right, I mean, the actor himself, I'm pretty sure was in his freaking 50s, 60s when he was doing this, so I was like...
No, hold on. But Luke could not do those things because he cut himself off from the Force, which is why he was able to extend his will through the Force across star systems because he cut himself off. You see? Doesn't that make sense?
Do you have any idea how much anime I've watched, John? And that's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard.
I know.
Dragon Ball's plot makes more sense.
And
anyway, Grogu's dead.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
And Boba Fett just goes like, "Don't worry, love. I'll put on a nice show." Then just dips. I'm like, "Where is he? Where is he?" The rest of the whole time.
I like how he just ends up.
And then he goes like, "I'm top bitch now because I took over Jabba the Hutt's territory."
Yeah, and he's got his woman on the side. He's just like a pimp.
Fennec
it's like
too.
the pimp sit.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, Agent May, she's also OG Mulan in the animated one.
Yes, she is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I had said that she played Chun-Li in Street Fighter, but no, your reference is better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's like Disney royalty. Like, she actually
Oh, yeah, she was like, I think she did the Triple Crown. They literally was saying something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like really well respected by Disney to the point that I think they did crown her as there was some like ceremony or something that only a handful of celebrities in Disney have actually gotten. She was up for.
It's better
As they
that
should.
Disney respects her than DC and Warner Brothers respecting Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Don't get me
We
started.
never
on
did
that
talk about the whole
because,
Johnny Depp news, did
yeah,
we?
remember that cancel culture one? That's something I would have raged on right
Have
now.
a
we're
bottle
gonna
of
have to
wine
do
for
damn
this.
story.
We're gonna have to legitimately do a cancel culture episode.
Oh,
at some
I'm
point,
snapping.
because, yeah, there's a lot there.
Careful.
I'm
I'll
canceling
put on
this
my
show.
angry eyes.
Wouldn't like me when I'm canceled.
We have to start the podcast off like that. You won't like me when I'm canceled.
You know what? That's
Didn't
gonna be the
Chris Pratt
first.
just get canceled?
He
Oh,
got canceled like 3 times. They've been
but
trying to
it's
cancel
like
Chris Evans for a year and a half.
you're ultimately, if an actor's like that well beloved, they're just not going down. It's like, what are you trying to do at that
It's
point?
like, what's he even done that's been proven legitimate fact that I wouldn't even be able to tell you myself
Who,
either?
Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
It's because he's like devoutly Christian that rubs a lot of people on the left the wrong way. So
I thought it was
well-
because the church was like into conversion therapy.
Oh, right, right.
I guess I've heard that too, but who knows how much he would actually believe in that? Even if it was,
Yeah,
it's
has
not
he
like
ever
he's
said
actively
that?
promoting
No.
it or using his platform to like promote those ideas, right?
I don't know.
Well, hopefully not, because that's just,
Yeah, so it's a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty absurd.
dumb. That's all I can say without being controversial right now.
The first
Yeah.
episode, mark my words, the first episode of this podcast next year is going to be Utterly Nonsense is canceled.
We might have to.
Can't wait.
As I don't know if you could talk about that on like a live stream and not have it shut down, but who's watching?
We've had a few viewers in and out through the whole thing.
And then we're going to get reported. We're going to get flagged. We're going to get downvoted. And I'm going to drink in the salt.
Okay. Anyway,
I'll grab the tequila.
Oh,
okay.
Anyway,
so Jake is definitely still watching. So if we want to do Cyberpunk next, I
It's
think he's
in
available to
episode
come up at any
69,
point.
he's saying, "You bastard."
that's right. The next one is 69. Got him. 69?
This is
Canceled
how-
all the way.
And this
Actually,
is why
yeah,
I
that's
made
gonna
sure
be
we were
half the
named
ad, isn't
Utterly
it?
Nonsense because
Oh
Look
god,
at
you have to
this.
wait. You can't do this episode in January.
Wow,
have to wait till April.
Why?
Oh, what?
It's April.
Yeah,
oh, why do we have to make
April
it April
20th.
1st?
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, yes. I think we might
That's
actually
really-
have to do that.
It doesn't actually. I'm gonna say, I'm the one person who's non-PA here. I'm in a state where weed is actually legal, so it's not really as.
Oh, is
Come on,
weed
first
legal
one.
in your state, CJ?
It is, Mike. Come to New Jersey. We've got all the good shit.
I have to quarantine for 2 weeks after I come there. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'd rather not cross state borders. The hell with that.
No, I would. I don't blame you. Well, anyway, Jake, if you're in the chat, I think we are going to talk about Cyberpunk next. So,
Yeah. I was
Oh,
going
yeah,
to say,
I can't believe how much of a steaming pile of dumpage that was. I feel bad for all that. Like the fact that Sony literally go like, "Hey, if you want to return it, we'll refund you." I was just like, name the last time that's ever happened for a launch of a video game ever. Like it was that bad. Like maybe that stupid FPS, the Division or something that glitchy
was it that bad?
hit. Yeah, that freaking
Yeah.
thing, right?
There was that, No Man's Sky. I actually
Oh,
did
no,
make
I
a
heard about
list
that
of
too.
like massive disappointments in video games this year. Let me see if I could pull it up. Or were my notes?
PlayStation 5.
Oh,
okay, Jake Gordon has entered the chat.
The PlayStation
Well, howdy.
5.
oh boy, let me
Howdy,
actually get
howdy,
this.
Jason.
So we're very lucky here to have someone who actually understands what programming is.
Found it.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
go
he's the
that
smart one
far.
here.
That's a bit of a
Well,
stretch.
I mean, you definitely know more about this shit than we do. So it's
just
nice to have you on.
a smidge. But yeah.
Okay, so
Uh,
I will say
Go ahead.
immediately when I found out about the Cyberpunk drama, my mind jumped to Fallout 76. Like, I don't think there's been any sort of outcry
Fallout
since that.
76. Oh my
Like,
god.
look, love or hate Bethesda, you got to admit it's a similar situation. where-
Oh my
What
God,
hasn't
yeah.
Bethesda screwed up though?
It's like a highly hyped franchise. Obviously, Cyberpunk has had a lot more momentum to it. Fallout 76 was more like it not necessarily spur of the moment, but there was a lot less demand for it coming out. But it's like you have these diehard fandoms that are like not willing to acknowledge these bugs, not willing to acknowledge any of these problems, but ultimately they're there the vast majority of the people who are playing these games acknowledge that there's problems that need to be resurrected. What are we doing here?
I think there are a few key morsels that led to this travesty, which I don't know. Depending on if you're a fan, it's awful. If you don't care, it's the greatest thing ever. You get to kick back, get your popcorn, watch a total shit show. First and foremost, I really don't think CD Projekt Red was a good fit for a game like this. Like, they are the Witcher people, and to go completely into not just like a total like style of universe, just it's a whole different game compared to what they do. Although, what is it? I haven't been paying attention to it too much until recently. There's a lot of shit coming about, like the execs of CD Projekt Red. Like, they weren't gonna pay people on their bonuses unless they got like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm trying to think some other things. Yeah,
So
which
it's
is
just
weird
like a lot
because
of
you
shitty
pay for
conditions, yeah.
reviews. Like, it's no secret they pay for reviews. That's another thing.
Shocker.
There were so many bugs on like the last gen console versions, like PS4, Xbox One, all that.
Yeah.
They did not give out review copies for those. So people who got it on that system got fucked so
PC
bad
only.
that like Microsoft and PlayStation were offering refunds, like full refunds. Like, yeah, we know that the marketing material didn't tell you this game was going to be this bad, so here you go.
And it's off the PlayStation Store now.
Yeah,
It
I mean
somehow
that's
became
what I've heard.
Microsoft exclusive.
That just from what I've seen of the early gameplay, it seems like the console versions are even like way worse than the PC version. I will say a guy I work
That's
with
sad.
is he's got a gaming PC. He's like telling me again, like John, that I have to get a gaming PC, that I have to invest in it.
I mean, you do.
And
but-
he got Cyberpunk day of release, said it was actually pretty good. He doesn't know what all the problems are about. So there's people out there that are in that mindset. And again, that's why I sort of relay it to Fallout 76, right? You had diehard fans who actually really loved the game at launch. So it's not to say it's all bad, but there's bugs. They need to be fixed.
I mean,
There's a lot of them though. Like, I was watching my friend play it from the beginning of the game, and the beginning of the game wasn't too bad, but now that he's further into it, they just keep popping up over and over, especially the way the cops system works. Like, you do one thing, like you say, you shoot a couple people, and it says, police warrant issued. So you turn your camera around, nobody there, you turn it around again, oh, there's a cop, there's a drone, I'm dead.
There's two fun bugs based off of that I was made aware of thanks to somebody linking me some Twitter stuff. So there's some very basic AI missing from this game, and people are writing it off as bugs. These are complete features missing. So AI driving cars have absolutely no pathfinding. So sometimes you'll catch them like literally driving through walls or just driving into each other. And if you turn around and turn back, their cars are gone. And the same thing happens with like AI that you like alarm by like shooting or committing a crime or something. If you see citizens like cowering, like freaking out from you, you turn away and you turn back and they're just gone. They pop out. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's the worst thing in a decade. And there's like, it's not like, oh, we're going to just update and fix this or anything. It's like the game is like fundamentally flawed at the core. So
wow.
I was
and people like to shit on Bethesda.
I know.
Jesus.
I was saying this early on.
I mean, it's typically Bethesda, so they kind of deserve it. So
yeah, this sounds like, I mean, compared
it's been a
to
constant problem.
Red, it sounds like Bethesda has their shit together. Come on.
It was.
I don't know. I think Bethesda has a bit more of a track record. Given this is a pretty bad fuck up, right? Like, Cyberpunk is going to go down in history, and not for the right reason.
Think about it this way.
Well, also people on Twitter were saying Cyberpunk 2076, like a day and a half too. So
think about it this way: at least CD Projekt Red didn't release a broken game and then go about fixing it in horrible ways that messed it up even more, and then release a new membership program where you get to pay $100 to just play the game with some features you probably should have had already.
Or release trash bags for collectors.
Next, right?
Yeah, we have yet to see. I have a tiny bit more faith in CD Projekt Red, but you can't forget about the phase where Bethesda released trash bags as collector's edition items, and then helmets that literally had asbestos in it or something crazy like that.
What in the?
Yeah,
it's true.
Or like
76 definitely was a huge misstep.
Or the Nuka-Cola.
Cyberpunk is the same thing.
I mean, I will say I did get into 76. I played the main story like when I actually got the game.
Yeah.
At least when I got it, most of the bugs were fixed. I didn't notice anything game breaking. It was, it's a fun game if you like Fallout.
I just
it's
want them
another
to
entry. It's
update
fun.
their
I mean,
damn
I
engine.
enjoyed the one game. What the hell was it? War never changes. I only know that
Fallout
line.
4.
That
It's always
one.
war never changes.
Literally all of them have that line
Yeah.
in it.
I mean, all right. I'm a bad nerd. I don't know these things.
Point is, at least since I stopped playing, I know they've added a lot more content to it, free of charge to anyone who actually has the game. I know Steel Dawn is the new thing, which is like the Brotherhood of Steel add-on, which is getting a lot of good reviews. So it's clear that these games can succeed. It's really more about
it's like No Man's Sky. That's a good success story. Everybody wanted to shit on that, and look at where it is now. They kind of delivered on a lot of their promises from early on. It's not that they were scummy and lied to people. It's that they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing. At the end of the day, it sucks. It really sucks what happened to like things like 76 or Cyberpunk 2077. But I don't want to watch a game just be bad and laugh at it. Like, I want people to get their money's worth and have a good experience. I would love for them to just try again. I don't know. I mean, we want to play a good Cyberpunk, right? It's funny. Yeah, haha, it's funny. But at the end of the day, it's a fucking waste of everyone's time and money.
All that marketing build up, and then it just ends up like the whole time I got the idea that it's a ton of marketing, but the actual idea of the game, because it's advertised as this big open thing where you have near infinite choice in this massive setting, and they're like, oh, but it's story driven. Well, what is every story driven game on the PS4? It's linear. You don't really have that much choice. You don't really get to make that many decisions that affect things to, not in a big way. And that's kind of how it is in Cyberpunk, at least to my knowledge. Your choices in the beginning for the character's past don't make that much of a difference. You're stuck in all of these extended, long dialogue movie scenes because it's a story game. Ugh. And it's like all the open world aspect to it is kind of empty. Like I was watching somebody explore around with like this special jumping ability. And it's like, okay, you can jump on buildings, but there's nothing there. There's really no incentive to do that, to keep doing that. It's a lot of pretty stuff, but it's all style, no substance. I know it, you know it, everybody knows.
Yep. You want to play a fun game?
I'd have more fun playing Saints Row.
You want to play a fun game where you get to be in like a dystopian transhumanist society or whatever with like cyberpunk themes? Play Deus Ex. That is a great
great movie.
I figured you were going to say Detroit Become Human, which
no, I would ironically recommend a David Cage game.
Okay.
This kind of, I guess, almost makes me glad that they delayed Halo Infinite, because that's another thing where there was like crunch time, a lot of staff going in and out, them hiring new people, then them leaving, and then more new people, and then that one little demo came out at whatever the Xbox event was, and it was not that impressive. The visuals
we all saw the
subpar.
Memes.
Yeah, we all saw the Craig memes. The one. Yep. The ones, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's so good. I hope they keep that, though. I hope they put like a little Easter egg later in the game for some shit like that.
Yeah, like a little achievement like they've done before. But yeah, so now they delayed that, not just because some people were saying, oh, it's going to be ready for early next year, spring, no problem. Now it's delayed till fall next year, and they're like showing all these new visual assets, which are like completely different from what they were doing. So it's almost like a restart. Like maybe not a total restart, but
see, that's the thing I'm worried about with games coming into the future like that. Like, oh, we've got the next gen hardware, we've got it all.
Oh yeah, next gen.
We're only at the beginning of these things. Games aren't getting easier to make; they're getting more costly, more like they take longer to make,
more ambitious,
and like we're at another set of like new software we have to learn now to make games. Which, if games keep taking like 8 years to make, we're just never gonna have like AAA games are never gonna like reach their peak ever again. If it's just like, yeah, we made this at the beginning of like, I don't know, PS4, Xbox One's lifestyle, and here we are at the end, and this is all we have to show for it, and now we have new hardware, and well, we gotta do everything over again for this new hardware and learn that it's a mess. And I feel bad for like, I feel bad on both sides. It's shitty for people who want to play video games because you gotta wait a million years for a really good fucking product, and it's shitty for people who are making them because like everybody, they just have their little tirade on Twitter, Facebook, or wherever they fucking complain. It's like, oh, this game sucks. It's so bad. It's like, bro, I've been working on this forever, and I just listen to what my boss tells me to do. It's not easy.
Yeah, like how many
fix
frames
this
per
right now.
second was this guy working on for like X hours? Like, damn, like
It's wild.
it does suck for the game devs at times, and I do feel bad for those people. But I'm just like, okay, but
I mean, I guess
if you try, and if you didn't know what
really.
you were doing, then how are you able to work on that project?
I suppose the one okay thing is that the PS5 and Xbox X, well, I don't know what we're gonna call it, Series X. I just say XX because it's easy. They're not too dissimilar in hardware.
Xbox at this point, for everything for me, Xbox. I'm like, I don't care.
The new one, they're not too dissimilar from the current consoles. But the thing is that because Cyberpunk started its development so long ago, I think it's before the PS4 and Xbox One were even out.
It was vaporware for a lot of years. Let's be honest.
They were saying,
I think they actually started development maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
It seems that way, but because they had already promised to put it on those consoles, they went ahead and did it when really it should have just been the newer consoles, and they should have focused their time and energy on that.
That's always what scares me, is like when people, it's like splitting development time between next gen and current gen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many times are they put the same Grand Theft Auto on the next quote new gen console?
Oh, that's Rockstar's Skyrim. They're gonna make that forever.
Yeah, I was just like, seriously, all right, at least like it makes the next Grand Theft Auto video game. Don't make it the same damn one.
Listen, I'm all fine if you want to fucking make Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto 5 for the rest of your goddamn life. My only complaint is make something new. Like,
like
they've released the same Skyrim for so many years.
Oh my god!
At, like, work and stuff like that. I love throwing on like little like videos to listen to. A lot of like, Elder Scrolls lore, and it's like really fucking fun. But at the end of the day, it's all like speculation, because it's like, oh yeah, we were looking in the files, and it feels like there was a quest here, but it never got finished. And it's like, this game's been around for 9 years. There's so much more shit you could have added to it. You just released the same thing that just looks prettier each time. But I gotta give Todd Howard a little bit of credit. He explains himself. He says, "You guys keep fucking buying it. We're gonna keep making it."
I will say I would pay good money for a Fallout New Vegas release, and that's still not coming. But it's like there actually is like fan demand for a Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3 released on the Fallout 4 engine. So
yeah, I would kill
I don't know
for
where
that.
that's coming.
I would, without a doubt, buy a remastered Dragon Ball Z Budokai and Tenkaichi games, without a doubt, for new gen consoles. They fixed up the fight mechanics up a little bit. Oh boy, they could be actually like pretty good and fun.
I like that idea, but that's another thing that scares me, is like a lot of like games that are like getting awards and all this shit are like games we've already played, but just a little prettier, like Demon Souls, Crash remake, Spyro remake. And I'm not saying like, I hate remakes or anything. I love fucking remakes, because like there comes a time when it's like, man, I played this when I was a kid. How do I play this now other than like playing it online off some emulator or something like that, right? I honestly think like main party teams should have like a remake team and then like a new development team or something like that. You just keep everything coming, you know? Like, I don't know. One day in the future,
have fresh eyes out there.
There'll be some console out there, and I'll have a fucking kid or something. I'll be like, hey, look, this is what I played when I was a little tiny baby like you. And they'll be like, oh, this is what I'm playing now that I'm a tiny little baby or whatever, you know?
He's showing my kids my old DS. That was the OG DS. You know, the freaking hunk of...
That's the only DS I have.
Like you should not have whatsoever.
Touchscreen technology, Dad. We just download our brains into our computers now.
Oh my god! No, Dad, we just literally have our Google glasses and tap. I can do whatever I need.
We just astral project now, Dad. Come on, get with the times.
I don't know. It's gonna be like all in the new Star Trek shows where everything is just a hologram in front of you that just kind of floats around and you don't really touch it. It's just.
If Cortana is not coming out of my arm, I don't want it.
What's wrong with buttons? You can touch them. They're actually there. They don't disappear if a power failure happens every time you get hit by a torpedo. No Star Trek.
Hey man, if Cortana can do
everything doesn't work anymore.
Literally. Oh, there's a surge. Oh god, the controls are locked up. That happens anyway.
Oh goddamn! I can't open my front door anymore. The power's off.
Yeah, just bad idea. Now they have like programmable matter where it's like everything floats around.
Oh jeez, that actually sounds kind of cool.
Even parts of the ship float around.
We joke, but I want to see how fucking freaky technology can get in the future.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
we all?
I hope,
You're the reason.
for the love of God, I hope.
I want my
humanity
hoverboard,
knows
damn it.
boundaries. But it's like, we are so dumb. We're so self-destructive. We're going to create some shit that's just going to ruin all of us.
We already made the most nukes in the damn
Just fucking
planet.
good, CJ.
Yeah.
Speaking
No,
of,
I'm shocked that we haven't killed ourselves by now. We haven't.
We've come damn close. I think we're either too stubborn to do it or just too stupid.
I almost kill
Both.
myself every day.
Yep. Same here.
speaking of unimpressive tech, no flying cars in Cyberpunk. What happened to Blade Runner inspired? Hello.
Ugh, that shit is so.
They're
No
being
vertical
realistic.
traversal. They were gonna put like a monorails or like gondolas to get around where you could actually
Yeah.
see the skyline. Cut wall running. Cut this. Cut. Nope, we can't do it. We can't do it. We don't have time. We didn't plan this far ahead. We wanted to make a big game. We bit off more than we could chew. Just story. This is what you get. Story and bugs.
It would be perfectly fine if they, because it's not innovative, it's iterative. It's like we take all these things that already exist and we just do them really well. That's all you really need. All right, I don't care. Sure, I really doubt you're gonna make good on your promises. Oh, flying cars, parkour, amazing parkour. You're just gonna somehow outdo everybody at their own game. No way.
You know what does have
But,
parkour? A little tiny bit, which I know I played, and I'm pretty sure you played. Back for Blood. It has
Yes,
vaulting.
yes, it does.
Which
Manfling, I think it's
is
called.
great. In case anyone doesn't know, Back for Blood is basically Left 4 Dead 3. You got the same developers who made 1 and 2. They're coming back. They're not working for Valve because Valve doesn't make games. They don't care.
Well,
But,
I'm not
They
gonna
just
say.
make money.
That is true.
Well,
More money,
it's like,
less problems.
the best analogy would be, this is to Left 4 Dead what Outer Worlds was to Fallout, where it's like a spiritual successor. It's a lot of the same dev team.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
It's the exact. Actually, I think it's the exact same damn team. Turtle Rock Studios.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
And I feel like... So I played the alpha. They had it for like 4 days, of course, because Left 4... Whatever.
Yep.
I like it so far. Obviously, there's some performance they have to work on. Bot AI, but I feel like the AI strangely improved from like the first time I played it to the success of
They might have been actively like updating it or something. Who knows?
Either that, or I thought like maybe they programmed it so the AI learns off of player behavior. But
That would be pretty cool.
either way, what I always said that Left 4 Dead should have is the zombies should feel like they're actually getting hit when I shoot them. Because in Left
Yeah.
4 Dead, they just keep running and they keep running and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. You actually feel the impact when you hit them. Get the hits in. It actually seems like you're doing damage.
Yeah,
Obviously, we need more special infected. They only have a few so far.
they're
But
pretty damn tough. Actually,
they
it's,
are.
it's just the tall boy.
I
which
hate him.
I hate him so much. I'm so confused
Oh
because like
boy.
in the demo trailer thing, they'd like name all the infected, and then when you're actually like playing the game, they call them all something different. So I'm wondering if like they made that before they planned on the alpha or whatever.
Yeah, I just say based on what they look like the boomer thing, I just say boomer or fat
Yep.
guy. And then
Yep.
the tall one, I
Fat
say big
boy.
boy. Or arm guy,
I hate
call
him.
him.
He destroys me. I still don't know like the optimal way to like take him down. I'm sure it'll be changed by the actual.
I think the optimal
Game
way
over
is to
now.
just run away. Honestly.
I mean, they do show those big glowing weak points, which I think is pretty fucking cool. You know, it's
I try
smart.
to
It's
hit
like,
his, and it almost never does anything.
yeah. Well, it's also really fucking hard to hit because like by the time I notice it, they do this really cheeky thing where he lumbers towards you, but he puts his not weak point arm
Yup.
forward, and it's only visible after he attacks.
Yeah,
so
like-
you basically have to bait it out and then
It'll
like,
be-
have your friend shoot it.
On this shoulder, and he's like coming at you, he's like, hey, what's going on?
Oh yeah, that's the tank, right? I was just like, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah, why?
Oh no,
does it do that?
they've got a different version of the tank in this game. It's called the
Oh.
Ogre.
Funny story about that.
Oh,
So, obviously, or not obviously, why would I say that? So, for the longest time, I've been playing Left 4 Dead 2 with a whole bunch of mods on with my friends, and one of the mods we have, but by the way, Turtle Rock, if you want this game to last, I know
Mod
Warner
support.
Brothers is probably breathing down your neck to put microtransactions, but please, mod support
Mods.
goes a long way.
Yep.
Anyway, one of the mods I have turns the tank into Shrek, and it plays the All-Star music.
yes.
And so Shrek is an ogre, and he was the tank, and now the tank in this game is literally called Ogre.
Yep.
Hey now,
So-
you're an
Get
all-star.
out to me, swoop!
Left 4 Dead to me, I'm gonna overshoot this a little bit. It's literally just a perfect game. It's so goddamn simple, and the sky is the limit because of mod support. This game has so much to improve upon. With just like, I love the cool like the card system, the weapon system, how you're basically like making like classes. Like, I don't know if you played their other game, Evolve.
I did not.
I've heard of it.
I just hear bad things about the way it was monetized.
That is like the worst part about it. I love that game. It was so fucking fun to play, but everyone bitched and cried about loot boxes and killed it.
They still do. Like in their Discord now, all people talk about is the monetization. Like, oh no, why are they charging $100 for the Ultimate Edition? It's gonna be just like Evolve. It's gonna be the disaster. I hate it. Stop it. I'm like, just chill.
It's a game. It's a fun game, but this feels like the perfect like combination of like the way they set up like classes and shit in Evolve with like the style of Left 4 Dead. It's like, all right, I'm going to play this way, and I'm going to be rewarded for it. It's not like this just generalist. Everyone's a generalist in Left 4 Dead, and we have a few like class specializations, which I think is cool.
Yeah, because like somebody I was playing with, instead of having sprint, they got a few variations on the cards that took away sprint, but made his base movement speed faster, and he was nearly as fast as I was while sprinting. The advantage of which is that he doesn't expend stamina.
Yeah, and that just makes it better for melee, which I think it's so cool.
I door jam with the one that gives you +2 healing per kill, and I just I was like, what are you doing?
That one's so
healing,
good.
man.
Oh my god, it's so fun. It's so fun. Did you run into I love this alpha, but there were some fun little bugs in this. Did you run into the infinite gravity ladder?
I don't think so. What is that?
Okay, so I think it was very sparse when it did happen, but the very first level, they have you going down a ladder before you get to the safe room.
I got you. You touch the ladder, bang, dead.
Just dead, right on the ground. The first time I was playing, the second time I was playing, we were all doing it. We're like, oh, we're doing really good. This is so much better because we know what we're doing. All of us died because the ladder just made us drop.
And it was so
fast.
inconsistent.
So funny.
Like my one friend, he goes down the ladder and then he just falls down and dies. And then I just jump down like right off the ledge after. I'm like, what? I don't have a problem.
Perfectly fine. Shouldn't have taken the ladder.
And there was another one where I played on one of the harder modes. So this guy knew what he was doing. He like ran all the way ahead and he got to the part where he like dumped the gravel on the ground to build a mount so he could climb over. So he got all the way past that. So by the time I got there, that was all done. But the mound wasn't showing up because I wasn't there and it didn't load in. But I could still walk on it. But because in my game, like in the server, it was there, but in my game, it wasn't. It was like teleporting me up into where it's stored originally, and I just I'm just like spamming the space key to climb over. So yeah, it's got bugs, but not nearly as many as Cyberpunk.
It's also an alpha, so the fact that it's an alpha and it's doing leagues better than a game that's had years and years to develop, pretty good mark. This is due for like what, July next year or something?
June 22nd.
June. That's even better.
And here's also an interesting thing. I know somebody who's in China right now. He joined our game and was able to play. Not that well, but the fact that he's even able to do anything is amazing. That's good netcode.
That is damn good netcode.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it'll be good. I'm hoping they don't completely fuck it over with microtransactions. We'll see.
I don't. Fingers crossed. I really like that card system. That stuff shakes stuff up. So, in case anybody doesn't know, literally, a lot of this game is built around this weird card system, like the infected you'll encounter in a match, like the random perks you get. I remember I was playing, I was playing the second level where they had the ogre, and I'm like, all right, cool, we got past that part. And then the next level, the ogre card appeared. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I wonder what that means. He literally showed up at the beginning of the level and just chased us for like the majority of it. It was the coolest thing ever.
Sometimes, because like and specifically the one where the guy ran ahead, we're just like sitting in the safe room while it's just staring us down, and we're like unloading everything we have, and it just doesn't want to go away. And then like the one guy, he's like, hold on, I'll distract it, and it reaches all the way into like the garage and grabs him and just dumps him.
Yep. Which is such a cool mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to see what other like infected things they do.
I just hope they're not behind Pig.
Yeah, that would be annoying. The only thing that I really I wasn't feeling too much is I'm not that big a fan of like the personality of the survivors in this compared to like the Left 4 Dead survivors.
Yeah, they need a little bit more. A little bit more meat on the voice lines. But I can hear similar voices. Like, I think I think his name is Evangelo. He sounds like Lewis when he yells. I think that's Lewis's voice actor.
Let me find out, because I can actually see.
And I think the other guy is Coach, too. It sounds like Coach.
Let's see.
But that's only 4 characters we got. They're going to have 8, and then more with add-ons, so... It could be really good. It could be a pain in the ass to work through all the buying options. Because, famously, Warner Brothers is also the publisher of the Hitman games, and Hitman 1 and 2, I think as CJ may know, is a nightmare to look through the buying options.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, basically, first of all, Hitman 1 you can't even buy if you bought the base game, like the vanilla version of Hitman 1. And I didn't even buy the vanilla version. I bought the definitive edition, which is supposed to have access to all this content. The stream key no longer works, right? Like, you literally can't get this content from this game with the base game.
That's super annoying.
Yeah, you basically have to buy the next game to get all the content that you're supposed to get with the definitive edition of the original game. And with Hitman 2, you know, once you invest in the DLC and get everything, pretty great game, but it's like, it's annoying that you have to go through all these paywalls to get access to the end of the story, right? Like, DLC shouldn't be, you know, it shouldn't be the sort of boundary from the actual end of the story, right? It should just add on. It should just it should just you know, inspire people to actually pay for this thing to get additional content. It shouldn't be a prerequisite for buying the game.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the times now, like obviously with Mortal Kombat 11, you know they're going to release more characters, you know they're going to keep releasing more content. Like, they have the Ultimate Edition now, and Ultimate means final, but is it really? Because on the starter listing it says
As
all
Final
the content
Fantasy series.
up to this point. So it's like a game comes out, but I don't end up buying it till 2 to 3 years after, because it's not the full game yet.
Are you done yet? You actually done yet?
Yeah, don't get me started on the Street Fighter versions.
Oh,
Alpha, Turbo,
God.
Arcade Champion, Ultra Turbo, Arcade Champion,
Granted,
Alpha, Beta.
Fighting games are a little bit more special when they do that kind of stuff. Just because they have such a long-term support before they're like, all right, fine, we'll make another one.
I
Yeah.
mean, Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, like Smash came out 2 years ago. They're still doing DLC.
Yep.
So-
they're gonna do that forever. Yeah, they just announced Sephiroth. That was...
Why?
Hey, now we get to see him stab Mario. Woo.
Oh, Steve from Minecraft and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII can fight on, like,
His
I
name
don't
is
know,
Steve?
the Mushroom Kingdom. It's such a love letter of a game. It's so bizarre. You just wonder who's going to be in next.
Crash.
Or not.
Crash. We want Crash. Crash. Come on, Crash. I've been saying
putting
this
it's
since
gonna be
before the game
Sora.
started.
Point.
No,
I think
people wanted Sora. Instead, you get Sephiroth. You just eat shit.
I think they're going to put in...
Waluigi.
I think they're going to put in the Monster Hunter from Monster Hunter at some point.
Why? Because the movie came out with Mila Jovovich, another Capcom-based
no.
property ruined by
Neither,
Paul
John.
Wes Anderson.
The Monster Hunter as a character, like, I think made a cameo in Marvel vs. Capcom. And also, like,
Yeah, Infinite.
they have a monster from the fucking game as a boss in Smash Bros. Capcom
Okay.
and Nintendo have been tight for years. It's about time we get, like, a little bit of a crossover in the Monster Hunter series.
You know, I would be fine if they just put
what
Knuckles.
Monster Hunter is.
Guess what it's about?
Hunting monsters.
You're a cut above the rest. You would not believe how many people ask what that game is about.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
So we've been streaming this thing for close to 2 hours at this point. Do we have
Oh,
anything else
boy.
we want to bring up before?
Time flies when
Mandalorian
you
Season
have
3 is
fun.
going to be the battle for the rule of Mandalore. Calling it now.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what
Yes,
I
and
think
it's
that's
Bo-Katan.
Are we doing the movie
and I
delays?
hate her.
Movie delays. Do you have a list?
I'm excited for.
There's too many,
Black
unless you want to do
Widow.
like blockbusters.
It's impossible. Well, I will say, and I mentioned before we started recording, I'm going to get an HBO Max subscription probably
Yes,
this week.
Max.
I plan on seeing Wonder Woman on Christmas Day when it comes out.
Wonder Woman 84, excuse me.
1984, yeah.
The Max situation, I could quickly go down the list of everything coming out.
And there's another big Pedro Pascal role, so go watch it.
Oh, word.
Yes,
Yeah.
I noticed that.
I think he's a good actor, honestly.
Yeah, he's great.
The little things.
Even though he broke the code and it made no damn sense at the end, God damn it. And I'm not going to go into that, though.
Little things. Judas and the Black Messiah. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
The Many Saints of Newark.
Jerry's a kid.
Reminiscence.
That I do want to say.
This one I'm excited for.
I actually will say Patron Saints of Newark was shot entirely in Newark and Jersey City. Very much a Jersey production. Love it. If you're a Sopranos fan, go see that.
By the way, you can tell how basic my interests are when I pass by all these artsy sounding movie titles and then I see Godzilla vs. Kong. Oh yeah, monster fight. Pow, pow, pow. Ooh, I am 5 and what is this? The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. The Heights. Space Jam.
I do want to see
2.
The Heights.
Oh my god,
absolutely not. I don't need that.
Yes, you do.
I'm the sports guy. I know. I don't want LeBron James. It's stupid. It should have been Jordan.
You hear LeBron James and you'll like it.
Yeah, shut up.
I just wonder if they'll do a tribute to Kobe Bryant.
Oh, that actually will make me cry, and they better.
How?
I don't know.
CGI.
Yeah.
The same way they did with Michael Jackson. I don't know, man.
Same way they did it with
How do they de-age a corpse?
Make it alive again.
Okay, so what's after Space Jam?
The Suicide Squad.
Okay,
that must be interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the James Gunn one?
It is, yes.
I'm actually very interested in that one.
Dune. I don't know if you saw, but the director of Dune wrote an unhappy letter to Warner Brothers about releasing his movie on computer and phone screens instead of in the theater. This is an autistic...
Makes sense. Pretty much any major director has pretty much said, "Oh, this is going to be the death of the industry. This can't become normal."
Meanwhile, they get a giant fucking bailout.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Here's the thing.
And look, I don't think it's going to be normal. Look, theaters are still surviving.
There's only nothing normal going on right now.
I feel like they're going to live through 2020 and all of the shit this spring. There's still people going to theaters, despite the obvious reason why you shouldn't be going to theaters right now.
It depends on how they feel after the pandemic. Because if people are like, "Oh, fuck that, streaming services, going to my home," that truly will be the death of the theater experience.
Well, it's look,
I was already illegally streaming anyway.
Well, look, let me tell you, they're gonna. So a couple things. First of all, Congress literally just passed a bill while we were talking about literally banning piracy. Or not banning piracy, but essentially making it a felony to pirate things from streaming services. That hasn't gone through the Senate yet. It might get vetoed, but that's part of the whole coronavirus relief act.
Yeah, because that's more important right now.
Well, it's like they're trying to save Hollywood and try to bolster the American economy, do all that, which I don't necessarily agree with making it a felony, but I get why that's in there, right?
They want to make it a felony to do anything.
Now, look, are we going to be seeing major Hollywood movies stay on streaming services first post-pandemic? I strongly doubt it. As long as movie theaters are around, they're going to try to get people into seats, and realistically, that's always going to be a better model for actually getting money than having people.
Yeah, because if you're paying $30-$40 to watch a movie on a streaming service, I'm telling you right now, you're an idiot.
Yeah, well, ultimately, and that's been the case with Disney Plus. I know that they had a paywall behind Mulan.
Yeah, that was stupid.
A few of their other movies.
Yeah, that was bad though.
HBO Max. The great thing about HBO Max, Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be included with your subscription, and I think they're planning on doing that with a lot of their movies. So
I'm guessing they're doing that. Obviously, you can get a free trial or something like that, right?
No, I think they're cutting off the free trial. I saw that somewhere.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that you can't just get it and then watch Wonder Woman and then go away.
Damn, really?
Which look, it's what, $10 a month? Who cares?
I mean, I was gonna do that because
15,
that's
whatever.
what I always do.
Well, anyway, it's gonna be interesting to see what 2021 looks like for movies. It's gonna be not just an interesting period of time, but I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic, especially with the vaccine coming. I feel like
overall
it's
should be quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I long for the days when I'll be able to go back into a movie theater and not feel.
Same.
I have a tinfoil hat theory about the future of the movie industry.
Oh my
I
God.
think Disney is going to purchase up some company and try to take a stab at making movie theaters, make some think about bringing back the family experience to the movie theaters. Because
I don't think that's
so
allowed.
basically, yeah, that would
So
be
what
a
they're
horizontal
probably
monopoly.
already doing.
yeah,
I think, isn't it one of the laws that movie studio companies cannot own theaters? Which is weird when you think about Google owns the only app store on Android and Apple owns the only app store on Apple phones.
There is no law that will stop Disney.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Literally,
like
I'm
literally
pretty-
every
Disney's gotten away
antitrust
with
law we
everything.
have has not stopped these companies from essentially becoming monopolies.
Mickey
Like,
Mouse
Walmart.
was for the next 200 years.
Oh, you thought you could stop me?
and
Fuck
honestly, the biggest problem with this country is that when a company becomes too powerful, they're literally above the law. Like, there's no
Yeah.
prosecution there. We're not doing
Especially
anything
when
to
they
stop
can
them.
like call up 50 lawyers, right? Like
We need Judge
off the
Dredd.
bat.
Well, that's the problem. We functionally live in an oligarchy. And, not to sound conspiratorial, but ask anyone who's actually studied the law, anyone who's looked at these companies.
We get it. You
have
minored in
unlimited
political
power.
science.
Double majored, but yeah. And yeah, it doesn't take a law degree to tell you that this country is seriously fucked up.
You're saying we're moving
No
closer
shit.
and closer to a cyberpunk future.
We're moving closer
Real
and
life
closer.
has
Switching the
bugs.
walls.
I
We're
thought we were
moving
going to get
closer and
Fable
closer to
type
the
people
future
with
in Legends of
Doomsday in
Tomorrow
charge.
Season 1, where you essentially don't have a country anymore. You have a group of shareholders who rule over everything.
We're going to like Star City 2044 or like
Please no,
like,
I'd rather rake my own eyes out than have to deal with Iris West ever again.
Yes.
I'll rake
What-
my own
what?
eyes out for cybernetic eyes.
Hey, anything's got to be better than randomly having your own body T-pose and then have your pants removed while on a motorcycle.
It's better than failing this universe.
I don't know. That
Aw.
sounds like an experience you can't
That
get.
line. That
I
line.
had to, John. I had to for that one.
Anyway, other interesting addition. This is probably the most interesting one. Matrix 4.
I'm
Oh,
excited
yeah.
for that.
I am excited
heard
for
I'm
that.
excited
Oh,
for that.
Because
I
Godzilla
Keanu-
versus
don't
Kong.
watch the other Matrix movies, obviously. Still,
You only need to see the first one, really.
well, of course.
And a few fight scenes from the sequels.
this one I'm excited for. Speaking of fight scenes, Mortal Kombat!
you're still choosing the wrong one.
What do you mean?
Godzilla versus King Kong.
I said that.
I mean,
Oh, did
that
you?
should be
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
the
that
first
was
one you said.
early on. You know what? Next Mortal Kombat, guest characters Godzilla and King Kong.
They said he was too big. Then we pointed at Smash Bros.
That's right. We did
and
the
then
horror
let the Dragon Ball
characters.
Z putting in Ozarus.
Oh, that'd be great.
We did horror characters. We did 80s action characters. Now we got to do the classic kaiju monsters. Do it.
I'm down for it.
I'm up for Kaiju's.
And this is the last one on the list. I'm just skipping a couple which we probably won't recognize, but a movie called Cry Macho starring Clint Eastwood. How old is this man?
I think he's immortal.
89? I'm going to say 89.
Yes.
Eastwood age. He is 90.
I was
Damn.
close. Okay, I'll
Is he
take
not dead?
Because he's Clint Eastwood.
I guess.
Men in that generation, let me tell you, are tough as balls.
Oh my
They
God,
survive-
Yeah.
Less
Clint
than
Eastwood's
me.
like the toughest of them all.
Oh yeah, he's bad.
Like he needs to moisturize. He literally looks like the back of a pencil.
Yeah, he
Hey.
doesn't
Maybe
look
a
good
lot
for
of
90.
movies.
When you're
He's
that
looking for
old,
moisturizer.
we'll see. All right. I think we covered most of
Honest,
if
okay.
not everything.
So I will say, I think we're about done here. I just want to
Yeah.
say, it's been a shitty ass year. for all of
Oh,
us.
that's fun.
It's
We'll
been a
actually get
tough year.
Widow this year.
What?
We'll actually get Black Widow in the next year.
That's also.
I'm
Maybe
good.
happy
someday.
with that. Give me my Scarlet Joe,
Well,
baby.
It's been okay. So it's been a shitty year for all of us. I can't wait for this year to be over.
Yeah.
We don't have too much longer to go.
Oh, she ain't gonna be fixed overnight, but at least we can
Yeah.
use this as the literal hindsight year.
Look, it's
Next
like
year we get nuked.
things aren't going to get better right away, but
No.
I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm hoping things are better.
We're top dancing on shallow ice here.
2020
buddy.
New Game Plus. Let's go.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Look at all the
John,
upgrades we got this.
do you have the outro queued up?
Yes, I have it ready. So, without further ado, this entire long thing, this is why we did it live. Because, look, now I don't have to edit. Bless the heavens. I don't have to edit this long-ass thing.
Wait, somebody say something controversial, so you have to edit it out.
Fuck the trips.
You know I would say
so
it.
Anyway.
Anyway.
For the very last time in 2020, this has been the Utterly Nonsense podcast. You can find all of our links at utterlynonsense.com. If you stayed and watched our entire live stream, thanks for watching. If you have listened to this entire podcast, thanks for listening. What else can I say? There's a
Happy holidays from all of us here at Utterly Nonsense.
The child says goodbye.
Keep it music. Play us out.
That's a way to go.
See ya.